All right, what's up? We're here. We made it. This is exciting. Very first live stream ever for me, anyway. So welcome. It's the SDPN, as everybody was expecting and hoping for, Nashville versus Boston, because that makes the most sense in the world. Actually, it does kind of make sense because we're doing a watch along with the team that's made me look the worst this year. My Nashville Predators. If you're confused as to why we're doing this, essentially. A few weeks ago, Nashville canceled a team outing to go see U2 at the Sphere. I think it was like early March. And essentially, I said, well, hey, maybe construct a better team and they'll play better because, the team's looking a little thin, except I was wrong. And I don't think they lost a game for the next 16, at least not in regulation. So Nashville's been on a bit of a tear. I look like a doofus. What's new? And so, we're just going to be hanging out tonight and enjoying the game together, watching Boston, another one of our favorite teams, right? We love Boston. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm really excited. Not really sure if this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be like, they say it's an 8 o'clock start, but it's really like 8:15, 8:20. But, we can hang out and just talk and whatever. And I know that we got a few questions here that we can get through. And the first one is from producer Drew, who paid money to troll me tonight. And he said, why do you hate Bono so much? Is it the sunglasses? I don't hate Bono, and I don't hate his sunglasses, actually. I think, listen, if you can pull off that style of sunglasses, not in the 90s, you're one guy, and you're Bono. That style of sunglasses went out a long time ago, but Bono's still rocking them, and I appreciate that about him, and good for him. I have U2's greatest hits on CD, which I bought when I was like 12, so I don't hate the music either. Really like the music. Big U2 guy. Just feel like maybe the Nashville Predators winning has nothing to do with U2. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Do we have any Preds fans in the chat? Do we have any Bruins fans in the chat? That's what I want to know. Who here is a fan of either of these teams? Because, listen, I'm a fan of the Predators, obviously. I have to be. They made me look like an idiot, kind of like the New Jersey Devils did last year. But I want to know how you're feeling going into the playoffs. If you're a Preds fan and you're sort of kind of looking at this season, like, what did CJ say? I think he said something like there is a lot of teams who would trade their depth players for Nashville's depth players. They just are lacking in the top end scoring. How are we feeling about the Nashville Predators, honestly? And be honest with me, because, like, okay, you're going to go into the playoffs. Who are you going to play? Well, let's look at the standings here, okay? Nashville Predators going into the playoffs. This is a big test tonight. I know Boston, they're not playing Boston, but we know it's a big step. So you can play any one of these teams. You can play the division leading Vancouver Canucks. You can play one of Dallas or Colorado. How are you feeling about going up against those guys? Let's see. Some people saying, I just hope both teams have fun. Predators are my solid second team, black and gold. Honestly, it's free money at this point. I don't know if I'm assuming that's what you're betting. You're betting that? Crashville, potentially. I know there's some Bruins fans in the chat right now, too. Bruins fan, but really enjoy SDPN content. Thank you, Jared. Really appreciate that. Bruins fan, white-knuckling it, hoping the Bruins stay far away from the President's Trophy. That's from Nick G. Okay, can I be honest about something? The whole President's Trophy debate is ridiculous to me because we do this thing in hockey where we think that the regular season is the same thing as the playoffs. And the way I think that we should be looking at it is that the President's Trophy means something. It's a good thing. We should like the President's Trophy. We should accept and be happy for our team when the President's Trophy happens. But to be honest, like, it needs to be its own. It's the regular season championship. Playoffs, not the same thing. It's a tournament. It's completely different, and it doesn't make sense to look at it like it's the same thing. It's kind of crazy. You kind of set yourself up for failure if you're doing that. We're still waiting through the national anthem here, so I'm just gonna talk to you for a bit. I have a real issue with people not liking the President's Trophy. I think it's ridiculous that the NHL is pretty much the only, like, I guess North American sports are like this, but like the NHL is really the only sport with a major trophy for the regular season and nobody cares about it. If you do this in soccer, it's like the biggest thing ever. Oh my God, we won. And they'll have the championship, like, and they'll present the trophy and they'll celebrate it, and then there's still games left to play. It's a big deal to get that trophy. I don't know. Just feel like, Boston Bruins fans, listen, go win your President's Trophy. I know at the end of it, nobody's going to care, but you should care. It's still, there's something about it. Now, puck drop. We are not, you have to clap at puck drop. Why? Is that because, according to Isabel, I have to clap at puck drop? And I'm assuming that's because the linesman never dropped the puck. Is that kind of what you mean? Is that what we're looking at here? Okay. What is it, Justin? Tell me. Okay. There it is, right there. There it is. And we'll line it up again in like 5 minutes. They literally just dropped it on us. This Nesson feed is crazy. Okay, so first off, I was a little bit concerned that it would be difficult to tell these two teams apart, but I really appreciate the Bruins wearing their third jersey on this one. This is nice. It's very clear who each team is. I got to be honest. I felt like the Bruins third jersey was kind of a cop out, but now I'm sort of seeing the kind of makes a little bit of sense here. And I'm looking at UC Saros's pads, and I want to say, respectfully, I think they might be the sickest pads in the league. And Marc-Andre Fleury used to have pads like that too in Pittsburgh. And I love I love going outside of the black and white. I love getting guys taking a little bit of a risk because this is hockey and everybody was, okay, you need to sync up the stream. Okay. I know you guys want to do this. I'm just looking at the chat here. If you're watching the game right now, my feed is at 1854. We're a minute in. Okay. So we got the Bruins. There's JVR throwing the puck in, kind of missed the guy. Can't believe that he has made such a career of it. Like, good for him. It's amazing. But that guy, I thought in Philadelphia was on his way out, and it might have been more a Philadelphia problem than a JVR problem. Whoa, close into the net on UC Saros. By the way, if you're just joining the stream, we're at 18:30 now. If you're watching the Nesson feed right now. I want to ask Bruins fans something, because this has just been kind of on my mind all season. And I think of the SD. Oh, we got our first chance there. Okay, we got the Zaka line. We got Pasternak, always dangerous. Okay, so this is my question for Bruins fans. You guys have this like crazy ability to win no matter who's in the lineup. And you lose Krejci and you lose Bergeron and, lost Char in the last few years and really haven't missed a beat. In fact, gotten better. How does that happen? What's that like? Is that fun to cheer for? Because I can tell you, like, the Leafs being good has been great, except for when they're playing. When they're playing, I'm an anxious mess, right? And I'm sitting here going like, I mean, like when you sit through a playoff game as a Bruins fan, you must go into it with like some degree of confidence. You must feel good about it. Like as a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, and I'm sure there's a few of us on the stream, they're pure hell. They're really exciting afterwards. It's great, especially when they win. But it's like when you're in it, right up until the end, I kind of want to shrivel up and die. That's how I feel. I don't know if anybody else watches hockey that way, but hockey to me is like an anxiety attack for 3 hours. And then afterwards, when they've won, I felt like they always had that. By the way, if you're just catching up to the stream, hi, welcome. 1702 is where we're at. Does that make sense? 1702, so you can line up your stream with that. Pasternak is so flippin' dangerous. This guy. And you look at, like, so they're just showing a replay of Trent Frederick right now. Like, Trent Frederick going end to end? What? I feel like when you when Boston, I think Steve said this, when Boston drafted Trent Frederick, he was Ross Boston. He was the guy he's the next Boston guy. Oh, we got a chat. Oh, a little bit of a hook there. We're going to let that go. These are playoff rules, 2 playoff teams. James Van Riemsdyk again. Skating better than I think I've ever seen him skate, to be honest. He was always like a choppy skater, a little bit Bertuzzi-ish. But he's flowing a little bit more now with the Boston Bruins. And again, like I said, I thought he was winding up his career, and I think it was more a Philadelphia thing than a James thing. Always rooting for the guy. So I'm gonna look a little bit at the chat here while we're going. Um, so here's what some people had to say about Boston. The culture they created of working hard and playing in your own zone responsibly has kind of shifted down through the other guys. I feel good that they're doing the right things, and we'll see where things land. Yeah, everybody's doing shouting out Ross Boston. Oh, Natalie, my wife just donated $20 to the stream and said you're doing great. That's like it's like Justin. It's like the Kardashians. Like you're doing great, sweetie. Oh man, that's so embarrassing. I love her though. She's the best. She's the best. um, um, can everybody hear you, Justin, or am I just hearing you? Okay, so I'm talking to Justin right now, and he said, "Has she signed up for SDP VIP?" And the reality is, I'm not actually sure, and I need to get her on that. You need to get on that because obviously you get to watch the shows ad free, which is amazing. But also, listen, we're married here. You need to help me out, babe. You know what? It's funny. She's the first person that I've ever dated that actually like watches any of the stuff that I do. And I understand why people don't. And it's because and I think Steve's wife feels the same way, is that like they get enough of us at home and this is how we are. And that's like, that's enough. Like a couple hours at the end of the night when you come home from work, it's like, okay, we've managed that. That's enough. Um from the CAC. That's a great name. We stand a supportive queen. Lovely gesture by Natalie from Bruno Buck. Um, yeah, Justin Fisher is here with me. By the way, he's producing, and that's why Drew is on the chat, like trolling me. Producer Justin, do we call him that? Okay, leave it in the chat. Are we calling him Producer Justin now? Also, we're not even watching the game here. We're being bad. This is bad. Okay, so listen, um, Producer Justin, what do we think? Do we like that? Is it too close to Producer Drew? Like, and we know what kind of a Justin says the last thing he wants to be is closer to producer Drew. Is that too much? Um, from Caden S. Adam, you look great in the thumbnail. Also, pretty sure your parents are my neighbors from a few years ago. Please tell them I say hi. Well, listen, I appreciate that I look good in the thumbnail. That thumbnail is like facts as the overnight guy in 2009. Whenever Poker Face came out, because I remember that was a really big song at the time, and we played that a lot. That and Got Money from Lil Wayne and T-Pain. It was a hip hop station. I was on a hip hop station. Can you believe it? I can't. Hey, by the way, if you're just catching up with the stream, 14:28 is left in the first period. Shots are 3-1 Boston. Not really too much going on. There's been a couple good chances, like, and from the regular suspects too. You would expect Pasternak to be in on a couple of them, and he has been. And we were talking a little bit about how Boston continues to just be good. Doesn't matter who they bring in. And what they kind of remind me of, and this is a little bit too on the nose, is what the Patriots were at their height with Tom Brady. They'd always like find these random guys and turn them into studs just within the system. And I'm not saying Pavel Zacha is a random guy. He's not. He's a great player, but this is a different Pavel Zacha than we saw in New Jersey. Would you not agree? Like, this is a different player. James Van Riemsdyk, I've mentioned a couple times already. This is not Philadelphia Flyers late Chuck Fletcher years James Van Riemsdyk. This is a brand new Van Riemsdyk. Jake DeBrusk, who like asked for a trade a couple years ago, then said, no, that's okay because I like it so much here. I don't know. I think there's something, I hate admitting this as a Leaf fan. Oh, God, there's something really special about these Boston teams. And I just hope. Oh, we have an update. What do we have, Justin? Oh, Natalie. All right. All right. That's incredible, Natalie. Thank you for. Sorry, go ahead, Justin. Matthew wants to know if Fuller is going to score tonight. You bet. Fuller always scores. By the way, there's a few people that wanted me to dress up like Fuller for this stream. I didn't know people were this passionate about Christmas movies. But anyway, um, here's what I will promise you. This is not going to be my last stream. This is actually, and this is just between us, a warm-up stream because I will be doing streams throughout the playoffs, and I'm not going to tell you for who's next. Obviously for SDPN, but which team I'm following because Steve's obviously doing the Leafs. But we're gonna have some fun, and I promise you, I will get a fuller costume ready to go. We actually kind of just decided to do this on the weekend, and it was somebody that actually brought it up in Steve's chat. Whoop, whoop. Oh, okay, sorry. This is what it's like to watch hockey with me. I just go, whoop. It's kind of a weird sound, but you know what I mean, right? Like you kind of get the feeling. Nashville playing deep in Boston's zone. It's a good little physical game too, but nothing dirty yet. I would like to see some fights tonight. I don't think that Nashville's the team that's going to fight too much, but maybe Luke Shen gets into one. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Fuller, going to happen. Just didn't have time to turn that costume around. I'm not great with that, but I will, I'll dress up for you. I'll dress up. I know there's some people too that were wanting me to wear my New Jersey pajamas, and I appreciate that. I just don't think that wearing the New Jersey pajamas for 3 hours on this stream makes a whole lot of sense. Plus, producer Justin, or Justin, our social media guy, or Justin Fisher, as you would know him, I feel like he doesn't need to look at that long, right? Like, I don't think that boosts the stream. That doesn't help us. Yeah, somebody said you should stream A Christmas Story. Can you even do that with movies? I don't think you can, right? Like, there's probably some rights issues with that. Hey, by the way, if you're just tuning in, our stream is at 11. I didn't get the chance to do the clap off the top because they just, I think that the camera crew were behind, so it cut right to the yeah, we'll do it at the next whistle here. But we are at 10, 47, 46, 45. Oh, and a big shout out to Harry French, who just gifted 5 subs. Thank you, Harry. Really appreciate that. Everybody that gets to try out, like, watching either just the VIP episode or upgrading to the full, like, ad-free package is, well, first off, the comment sections are hilarious because it's just a bunch of fanatical, like, crazy hockey fans, which I think you'll love. But secondly, I think the VIP episodes are fun. Woo! Because it's like Steve and I and Jesse getting to do what we always kind of did with the shows before, which was like a little bit of hockey and a little bit of weird pop culture. And I've already got some stuff set up for this week. Man, Boston does such a great job of breakouts. It's crazy. When you watch, like, look at this. Even when they get turned around by Nashville in the neutral zone, and any Barry Trotz team is going to be able to stop you a little bit in the neutral zone. And I know it's Andrew Burnett's team, but let's be honest. This is Barry Trotz's franchise at this point, right? I'm always sort of really, really. I wish the Leafs were this clean. That's what I'm going to be honest about. I think Boston's one of their best strengths. Look at this. They are very smart about how they break out. And frankly, they don't get caught up a lot in their blue line. And I find that I don't know if you guys are like this. I get frustrated watching the Leafs sometimes because I feel like they're too slow on the breakouts. They're almost too casual. And I know that you don't want to force anything, but it does give the opposition time to A, get in position, and B, kind of figure out what you're doing, right? Boston is not rushing it. They're not forcing it, but they're clean and they're crisp and they're rolling. You know what I mean? Yeah. Harry French says, hoping my Bruins win tonight. Well, it's a pretty good start. Out shooting them 6-2. Like, I don't know. Seems pretty good to me. Okay. Okay. So here's what I need to know. Oh, that's how I go through the super chats. Joe, excited for SDP playoff streams. You're doing a hell of a job. Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate that. Thank you. That is very kind of you. This is my first one, so it's kind of interesting to try it out. Yeah, there's my wife in the super chat. How do I check out the super chats? I need to learn how to do that. I think it's at the top, right? Am I learning that? Yeah. No, it just says live chat and top chat, Justin. That's what. So I'm talking to Justin right now because I'm trying to figure this out. So Justin, maybe you can fire up the or feed me the questions if you don't mind. Okay. Okay, perfect. From Firewall 666, score prediction tonight. Well, it's tough because Nashville's a good defensive team, and they happen to score a bunch sometimes. I just don't think they're going to do it against the Bruins. I feel like this is like a 4-3 or a 3-2. Doesn't it feel like that? And like the way Nashville's been playing, like how do you think that they like? I don't look at Nashville as like a far inferior team, even though they're they didn't have the start that the Bruins did. Kind of feels like a good team. I don't know. So yeah, and then Shadow Panther, nice name. Adam, thoughts on dealing with Maroon again, but now as a Bruin? Oh man, listen, you don't. There's certain guys where it's like I don't even care what you do in the regular season. Like, does Pat Maroon even need to play a regular season game? Probably just to like keep his fitness up. But Pat Maroon is there to be an absolute like bus in the playoffs. He's so big and he's got such a like this is underrated. I think this matters. He's got a good chirp. Like he's good at making people mad. Like I don't know if I don't want to swear on this, but like he can piss you off. You know what I mean? He'll say something and it's funny when it comes from Pat Maroon. If it comes from some any old guy, you're like, whatever. You're just a person talking crap. But if it's Pat Maroon, you're like, I'm gonna have to bash this guy's face in. And the reason I know that because so many people try to, and then Pat Maroon's like, oh, by the way, I'm the size of a bus, and you can't do that to me. So bye, see you later. It's if the Leafs have to play Boston, and again, this is why this game is kind of important because the Panthers obviously lost to the Leafs last night. If Boston wins here, they're 4 points up, I believe. And I think that's kind of a huge deal, right? Like you're talking about almost no runway left. So I don't hate it if the Bruins win, even though it's my Predators. Because, well, I mean, I guess it sucks either way. I don't want to be the guy that says we want Florida and then get clipped and then get that all over Twitter. Like I'm looking at it right now. They've both played 75 games. This is the Bruins' 76th game. 99 points for the Panthers, 101 for the Bruins. Man, like, do you want to play either team? No, I don't want to play that. No one does. But that's the playoffs, right? It's not like I feel like too, as a Leaf fan, getting excited about any opponent just ends up in heartbreak. Like the "We Want Florida" chants last year, people were right to chant "We Want Florida," but they hadn't watched Florida versus Boston, right? Like they didn't consider that the President's Trophy winning team just went down in 7 games. How did that happen? And it was because, and Jesse pointed it out on the podcast today. I don't know if you've caught that, but the Leafs beat the Panthers like 3 times in the last 6 weeks heading into the playoffs. So as a Leaf fan, you feel really good about that. And you're like, yeah, we want Florida. And then get destroyed and have that rubbed in our face for the rest of the year, which is the way it is. I don't know, man. I look at this and I go, I'm really thrilled that the Boston Bruins will have to play the Washington Capitals, and Pat Maroon can take those guys on, at least in the first round. Dean Thibodeau, who's a member for 1 month, said, can we get a sports questions with Jax at intermission? Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's a Virgin Radio listener there. Yeah, I think we could actually, because Jax knows nothing about sports, and we'd be glad to be on the network. Hannah and I are happy to have you on tonight. Thank you, Justin. Or not Justin, Dean. Justin was the guy that sent me the thing. And Jesse Blake, what's it like working with Alan Walsh? Amazing, first off. I just want to say that I don't know if you caught Agent Provocateur this week, but there's a crazy story in there. Because you know the whole Ivan Fedotov thing. I know we're supposed to be watching the game, but I'm going to tell you some stories. You know the whole Ivan Fedotov thing, where he was finally signed out of Russia after Philadelphia tried to get him like 2 years ago, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go to the North Sea Fleet and serve your 1-year term. Oh, and then you've got to go back to the KHL." Ooh, off the crossbar! Yikes, that was close. Anyway. Ooh, Boston coming back the other way. What a man. That's what I'm saying. Their breakouts are deadly. This is stuff that Boston, they're so good at in the playoffs. They're so clean with their breakouts. They're on the other side of the ice in no time. Anyway, the Russian story I want to tell you is that I asked Alan, like, what's it like to do business in Russia? Like, what's it like to try to sign a player out of Russia? And I don't want to wreck the story because the way Alan tells the story is very methodical. But the great thing about it is it's always interesting and it's very detailed, and then he always pays it off. There's always a good ending to it. And this story is like, I don't know if he says he's been to Russia 50 times. So he's got some experience there. I don't know that I'd have the balls. Be straight up. Like I don't think I'm too much of a wimp. I don't think I can handle it. Um, and I think Jamie McLennan from TSN's Overdrive told a story. This is like years ago when that show first launched. And he was talking about um, he was playing in Russia, I believe, either during like a lockout or something, and I guess car got pulled over or they got stuck in traffic, and one car was yelling at another car, and a guy got out of the first car, and they're both driving like Land Rovers, and pointed a gun at the other guy. And Jamie was like, and then obviously it was diffused, and then he jumps in his car and they all drive off. And Jamie's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I saw that." And then the driver said him like, he's like, this is Russia, everybody has a gun. So keep that in mind when you listen to the Allen story. It's pretty nuts. Yep. Sorry, Justin. Okay, clap on the next whistle. I'm looking to clap on the next whistle. Oh, okay. Here. Okay, so the 449 is where we're at. Ryan O'Reilly with a really good chance there. Really, really good chance there. He's been, man, I miss him. I'm not gonna lie, I was bitter when he left. Was a little bitter about it, but I really wanted him to be a Leaf for a long time. Really enjoyed watching him in the playoffs. Kind of upset that that Nashville offered him the same money, and then he goes to a tax-free state. A little bit upset about it. Yeah. What do we got here? We got some questions, Justin. Let's go through it. Scott Morton. Scott Morton dropped $2 to help towards funds for a new wedding ring. Thank you, Scott. If you don't know, I lost my wedding ring at a SDPN shoot on the beach last year. Jesse Blake, telehistory. Is Jesse Blake paying for these? He better be paying for these. These super chats? No, he can't be jumping the line like this. Jesse, pony up. I'm not telling. I won't be answering any of your questions, Jesse, because people are ponying up, and you think that you just because you work here that you have special privileges. Well, no, sir, no. From Sean Page, my dream came true. So nice to see Adam doing this. Was this your dream, Sean? I don't know how good I'm going to be at it. So let me ask you this: since we're on a commercial break, and it's Quest Trade commercial, let me ask you if you. So we got Steve doing the Leaf streams in the playoffs, right? We already kind of know that's happening. If I was to follow any other team going into the playoffs this year, okay, and we're going to look at everybody: Boston, Florida. Florida's probably playing the Leafs, so I don't have to worry about that. New York, Carolina, Philly, Tampa, Washington, Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Edmonton, Vegas, Nashville, and very likely the Kings, unless the Blues somehow catch them, which they can. What do you think? Which team should I be doing? I want to know in the chat. Hit me up. I want to see. Yeah, that's fine. No, I'm gonna wait for the answers. And while I wait for the answers, Salty Captain, new member. Hey, can you do a history corner about Simo Haiha, love from Finland? I can't because I don't know that particular incident, but I'll tell you this. Okay, the Finns. You want to hear a history corner? The Finns are one of the craziest stories in the world. They were invaded by Russia right around the start of World War II, and this is just a quick story, I promise you. Winter War. Justin knows what I'm talking about. And what was crazy about it is Russia's like a Goliath country, probably 110, 115 million people or whatever it was. And Finland's just this tiny little country, which is kind of the same as it is today. But Finland used to be property of Russia for like, 200 or 300 years ago. And Russia's like, we want this back. And so what's hilarious about the Finns is that they would ski into the Russian positions at night and like destroy their camp and terrorize them and then ski away. They literally, there's a picture, you can look it up online, look it up, Google it right now. They would just like, they'd ski in, they'd bang, 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 bang. And then they'd be like, we're burning everything down. And then boom, gone into the woods. Can't find them. And the Russians had like a hell of a time with them. So I hope that handles things. I don't know that particular event, but I'm gonna try to do the best that I can. Geonosis, Star Wars reference. Member for 1 month. I need an Oilers stream, Adam. Do it. That might be a good one. Listen, if we're gonna follow the best team, follow the best player in the world too. Don't you think? maybe. Although the Jets, pretty intriguing team, struggling a little bit. The White Death, finding out about Simo Hayaya. See, the thing about Finnish is it's one of the hardest languages to master. The White Death had over 500 confirmed kills in the Winter War, which lasted 105 days. That is aggressive, aggressive. Um, Good. Here we are at 4:04, by the way, if you're, catching up with the stream. This for my first live stream period, I was hoping for a few more fireworks. Maybe we'll get it in the last 4 minutes here, but it's been a sort of back and forth, bit of like a arm wrestle kinda game right now. It's not it's hockey, we love it, but we can admit when it's not the most exciting. Pasternak had a couple of ooh, oh, maybe I spoke too soon. See, this is what's so interesting about the Predators. Watch watch them work this board. Watch them work it. They always come out with the puck. Watch them work the offensive board. There's always somebody in support, you see it there, and then, the Bruins are great with breakouts, but I like the way the Preds play along the boards because it's always one guy, and then there's a guy rushing in support, and then if for whatever reason, and you watch this, we gotta okay. If for whatever reason the guy on the boards who was first in loses the puck, the guy coming in instantly changes directions and goes back to covering his guy. But there's always board support, and I really, really like that. I'm seeing the Leafs do a little bit of that too now, and I'm kind of liking it because they weren't like the biggest in the corners on the boards team before, right? They were just weren't as mean and tough. What do we have here? Do we have a penalty? Justin Brazeau getting off the ice, really in pain. Did he take a I must have missed it. Did he take a puck off the knee or you know, that's a great story, by the way, Justin Brazeau. I know that the Leafs had him in the system for a while. He's 6 foot a million every time he steps on the ice. What was this? What happened here? I wanna see a replay. Come on, Nesson. Let's go. Come on, Nesson. Speed it up. So Luke Schenn, is he getting booted from the game? And they went to commercial. That's great. Fantastic. I don't know. See, I don't have the sound on either when I'm watching this, so it's hard to know what's going on. Okay, while we're in commercials, that's the history corners. Drew, explain the Battle of Vimy Ridge in 1967 seconds. Oh, 19 seconds. Okay, Vimy Ridge, really important because it was part of a bigger battle and a much, much, much bigger offensive. And the Canadians finally allowed Canadian troops because up until that time, they'd only had British generals and they were bad. And so we had a general and he was good. And they did this thing where they had a creeping barrage. Look it up. I don't have time. And they claimed the ridge after it had been tried 6 or 7 times between the French and the British. There it is. Vimy Ridge, 1967 seconds. I hope I did a good job. Looked like a roughing call. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, so it might have been, according to Firewall 666, it might have been a knee on knee. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a it's this is what drives me nuts about broadcasting, and I realize that it's a very difficult job. But if I can't hear it, like I'd love some sort of like text to come across the screen, like delayed penalty. Like Sportsnet normally gives us that. I don't think I got a delayed penalty. I didn't get a replay. I guess that's the whole point is it's making you stick through the commercials so you watch the commercials, you know? Anyway, it's just that's just what's happening. Um Anyway, here we go. Okay, Luke Schenn is in the box. He is sitting down, which means that Luke Schenn is okay. And here's where Brazeau has his head up. Okay. Was that a knee on knee? It's a roughing call. The puck was going towards him. Does that feel like an intentional knee on knee to you? I don't know. I'm not so sure. I know Luke Schenn's a bit of a tough customer, but it didn't feel like one of those ones that you're like, somebody's gonna have to fight later about that. Now we get to see the Boston Bruins power play and mostly Pasternak. So Marchand, Pasternak's behind the net. Yeah, I like this setup. Here we go. Marchand from the point, nothing. Okay. Marchand again from the point, trying to get it up to Pasternak, who was going to cut in front of the net. No good. Oh, I remember this power play. It haunts my dreams. Oh, good save by Saros. By the way, one of the best moments you can have as a fan is going to Nashville and watching the team be successful in anything. Like, what I love about Preds fans, and I think this comes from being a Leafs fan and having a bit of a quiet building. Everything the Preds do, people are cheering and chanting. It's amazing. Boston too, but I've only seen the Boston Bruins in the playoffs. And I guess I saw the Preds in the Stanley Cup final, but you could hear it on TV. They're there and they're going to root. They're going to get excited. Okay. O'Reilly wins the faceoff. They got him killing penalties. Boy, we could use that this year on the Leafs. Oh, Pasternak fans on the puck. Ryan O'Reilly is going to break. No, he's not. Bruins remain in possession. I just want you to know, by the way, that I'm getting chirped pretty hard in our SDPN group chat here by Drew and Jesse. And I just want to say this is my very first one. And, I'm doing my very best. Okay. You guys don't have to be so mean. They were mad that I didn't react to the breakaway, but I was telling a damn story. Okay. It's just, this is my style. We don't always have to be right into the game. Yeah, we do have to be better about that. Get into the game here. I want to see vintage JVR in front of the net. So if Boston sets up here, are they going to just plant his ass right in front of the goalie and he's just going to stand up straight, tip things in? Man, he was so good at that in Toronto. Oh, man. It was fun to watch. Shattenkirk. Hey, there's another guy that I'm like, his career's over, right? Goes to Boston. No, he's spectacular. There's JVR for the point. Oh, what a setup. James. Look at these hands. These are soft hands, James. Wow. I'm impressed. This is a different guy than on the Flyers. I know I've said that 40 times in the first period, but damn. Okay. All right. Boston does not gain the zone. They got 15 seconds left on the PK. We got a minute left in this period. Shots on goal 11-5. It's been back and forth. Nobody's kind of broken out, and I mean, obviously Boston's outplayed Nashville, but it's not like anybody's been like completely crazy dominant. Yeah. 45 seconds to go. Boston pressuring. Woo! Oh. Yeah. Man. I'm still waiting for some excitement here, guys. Come on. I know it's Tuesday night. I know it's April 2nd. I know nobody's trying to get injured before the playoffs, but seriously, I could use this. By the way, thank you for everybody for joining in the chat, because there's like a whole bunch of, it's really cool to see all the support. This is really cool. Yeah, this is fun. Did we get any sense of who? So Jet Legends, who's a member, Adam, I have a job interview in 3 hours. Give me a good luck kiss. I will not stop till I get it. I need this job. So good luck, Jet Legends. I wish you told us what kind of a job you were applying for. I would love to know. Oh, here we go. Trent Frederick in the faceoff dot, a.k.a. Ross Boston. And the Preds win. Here we go. Maybe a little goal. A goal in the last minute. I hate it when it happens to the Leafs. Love it when they do it to other teams. Love it. We got 25 seconds left. Okay. It's not a whole lot. We got an icing call. Snore. Come on. I'm going to get to another question here. Isabella, totally different energy than Steve streamed. Adam is not yelling. He's probably wearing pants. I am wearing pants. I was going to stand up and show you my pants, except that if I stood up, it would be right at my waistline. And I feel like that might be inappropriate. Not that, you know what I mean? Not that there's anything to brag about, because there isn't. But I just feel like just being like, hey, check out my pants would be weird. But I am wearing pants. I'm actually in the SDPN studio if you want me to show you it. This is my, when you watch the face-off win. Hang on, I'll show you in a second. 15 seconds to go. Bruins pressuring, give the puck away. Nashville's got one chance for a breakout here. Bruins break it up. All right. Well, that period it's a little dry. Period's a little dry. Justin's going to hate this, but I am going to show you the studio without trying to shake the camera too much. Let me have a look here. So this is where I sit, and obviously Steve sits there. And then, sounded like a fart, but it's not. And there's Jesse's seat right down at the end. And that's what our studio looks like from the inside. Kind of cool, huh? So that's the desk. That's a Tim Hortons cup because they're one of our sponsors. We love Tim Hortons. And then there's our SDPN Sports Are Fun. And then that TV is normally on, but it's not on right now. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. And then so it's kind of cool. Maybe I'll do like in the playoffs when we're doing this. Maybe I'll do like a intermission tour or something like that. I don't know if I can do this on mobile, but I just carry the computer around and take you through. Matt Holmes, new member. Like, Matt, welcome. Thank you for being a member. We appreciate it. Have you painted the chip in the wall yet? No. There it is. There it is. There's the chip in the wall. Here. Woo. Does that bother people? Does that I would love to know in the chat if that bothers you. Does that bother you? Because I think it's important. Yeah, I want to see in the chat. I would love to. There it is. So, okay, most people are saying not in the slightest. Okay, so, then Barrow's boy was like, okay. Where... That's amazing. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Because I'm going to take a quick breather, and then I'm going to come back because we're going to do the second period and the third period, obviously. I want to we're going to play a little clip from the SDP today, Justin. Should we do that? Okay. What's the clip, Justin? Can you speak into my ear? Oh, I can't hear you. You're on mute. Justin's on mute. He did it. Wow, so embarrassing, Justin. So embarrassing. Still can't hear you. Don't know why. Yeah. Maybe just put it in the chat, Justin. That's okay. So we're going to run a couple clips here like during the intermission. Just some of the stuff from the show today. Oh, this is going to be the stadium food takes. Okay. What you're about to see is the Blue Jays unveiling their food for the Rogers Center because, I think the Pittsburgh Pirates have a renegade platter because there's like a huge Ukrainian heritage in Pittsburgh. So when you go to like tailgate there's a ton of like pierogies and things like that. So they've got this big renegade boat, and renegade's a big song in Pittsburgh. Sticks very, very hard to explain unless you're from there. We're gonna run you through and see what you think of the food. Have a look, and then I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, hang around. Let's do this. This is fun.
The Toronto Blue Jays new menu of foods. So check out some of our new food and beverage offerings at Rogers Center this year. So first up, we got the stuffed Jamaican patties.
That looks incredible.
Looks really good.
Straight into my fat mouth.
Warning when they do these marketing images, they don't always look like this.
Oh, no. Jesse, there's no way they're putting that much meat in it. It's going to be like, here's one piece of tough beef and a few of the, what is that? Is that coleslaw? Like a few of those things. And
Just wait until Blue Jays games start to look just more and more yellow as the year goes on TV. You know how crusty that's going to be? That's going to get friggin' everywhere.
Yeah.
A little flaky.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, next up, we got the hot maple and bacon hot dog.
I'm all the way in on that.
It looks really good.
Yeah. That's
Next
the dad.
up, the
terrible
cannoli, which you can find in section 103.
Are those pistachios?
Yeah, they are.
Those pistachios in the cannoli.
I'm not a cannoli guy, gonna be honest.
The Blue Jays are killing it. What is
Crushed
this?
ice cream floats.
Oh,
At the TD Park Social, you can find it there. This is not a advertisement for Rogers Sports and Media, but they're doing a fantastic job with these beverages and foods this year. And the Poke Bowl, you can find that at the Stop. This looks like a Metro.
Let's go back to the Poke Bowl.
It looks like a grocery store Poke Bowl, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've
seen that at Metro.
Maddie, you agree? Yeah. I'm not impressed with the Poke Bowl. Yeah. Mid. Touch 'em all, Joe. Spirits.
I'm all over that.
Spritz.
Oh, Spritz, sorry.
But it looks good.
It does look
I like
I didn't know
I
that
like
was
the
so funny.
collectible cup.
Yeah.
Is it just an Aperol spritz in like a cup?
Yeah.
No, it's a touch 'em all, Joe.
I hope it comes in that little hat thing. That's pretty cool.
I'm sure it does.
I would take that home. Loaded mac and cheese.
Okay, I'm in.
The portion's probably so small.
It looks small.
If
Yeah.
that's pulled pork.
That's pulled pork, yeah. I assume there's different toppings, I guess, because they just call it loaded, not specifically pulled pork. The tiramisu.
Wait, is that a medicine cup? Okay.
That's a shot glass of tiramisu.
No, you need a Canadian quarter next to all these things for scale.
Yeah. Also, you know what's suspiciously lacking in all of these posts? The price.
Yep. That's a very good point.
The
You know,
stuffed Jamaican
hey,
patty, the maple.
Hey, listen, if the Jays aren't going to hit, at least eat some good food.
This is the touch 'em all Joe's got to be like $14
For that
minimum.
cup alone.
Minimum.
Absolutely. With the booze, $20. I'm saying $20 to $25 for that touch 'em all Joe.
I'm gonna drool all over this desk like Pavlov's dog.
They're probably
oh my god,
the cannolis are probably like $9 for
Yep.
3.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like these are probably outrageous.
You might be low. Like you might be
bad.
undershooting it, Jesse. Like food at the Rogers Center is outrageous. It's $25 for a beer. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And I love it there. But it's just like, who are these normal people that can afford this? Baseball is like in you have to understand, baseball everywhere is not like a premium sport like the Leafs are. It's an everyman sport. Because there's 50,000 seats.
It's like that trade meme. It's like you get 2 Jays tickets. You trade being able to have utilities this month.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a few calls from the utility company going, you haven't paid your bill.
Yeah, I saw the Jays lose 9-3 to the Padres. Oh, okay. Never mind. San Diego, by the way. Home of the Padres.
That's right. That's right. And your favorite place.
Yes.
I've
never been to.
I listen, I don't want to pour cold water on it. I did want to ask Jesse, what did you think of the Jays getting no hit last night?
So embarrassing. Like,
Why is it embarrassing? Because like sometimes that does happen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I was there when Paxton no hit the Jays.
The Canadian James Paxton,
That's
Seattle
right.
Mariners did that in, I want to say, June of 2018.
And people were leaving early because they didn't realize that it was a no-hitter, which is super embarrassing. I was like, we're watching a no-hitter. Where are you going?
One of my biggest pet peeves in sports is any broadcaster who thinks that they affect the outcome of a game by not saying shutout or no-hitter.
Yeah.
Your job as a play-by-play announcer or a color commentator is to let the people know what's going on. If I turn on a Blue Jays game and Barrios is on the mound and he has a perfect game going and it's the 9th inning and the fucking play of Dan Shulman doesn't tell me that a no-hit is happening, like you're not doing your job correct.
Agreed.
Well, he's got a no-hitter going and swung on Castellanos deep to left field. Sorry.
No, Buck or Dan need to say that, and like they did it because of the other team, obviously, in this situation with the Houston Astros. But like that's one of my biggest pet peeves is the superstition of a broadcaster thinking that they hold the weight to affect this game by saying that into the universe. It's ridiculous.
I think Steve would be that guy, by the way.
Yeah. I would start doing the wave.
No, I don't want to watch the Leafs playoff game with you, Adam and Jesse. I need to sit at home on my good luck couch.
That was 6 years ago.
I'm not letting that go.
Yeah,
you're not.
You need to let that go.
No, Jesse, you can't let that go.
Yeah, it was 6 years ago.
That's no.
You know how
wrong.
many first-round losses ago that was?
Yeah, I know.
You've watched plenty of games with us.
Yeah.
But to your question, it's embarrassing because their whole issue last season was they had no offense, and then you go into this season, you add a 40-year-old to your.
Hey, I'm back. Hello. All right. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I just had a little bit of coffee, figured out the Sportsnet app on my TV screen, so I should have a better view of the game. So I was, to tell you the truth, like this is the first time I've done this, so I didn't really know what kind of setup I would want to have. And so the way it is I can show you. It's not that exciting, but here's my mic, and then here's the TV that I wheeled up, which Jesse's probably going to get mad at me for because I moved it around in the studio. And he's got it all kind of perfected here. But I couldn't look at you and talk to you and see the game at the same time because I'm using one of these Amazon Fire Sticks and it's been sitting at my house for a year. And it took half an hour to update it when I installed it in the TV here. Now it works great, but it took a while. It was a little much. Look at these. Robert, thank you for the love, Robert Malloy. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Appreciate that. Is Jesse starting the wave in the chat? I'm seeing a bunch of waves. I'm a little bit concerned. Is that Jesse? Is that Jesse is 100%? No, I think Jesse likes the wave. It's Steve that doesn't like the wave, right? Am I right on that? Yeah. Anyway, it's been a really boring period. I'm not going to lie. And that's it. So Drew and Jesse were lighting me up in our little group chat because like I was kind of talking about I was talking about like history and stuff, but hey, you guys asked. So I figured I would answer, and that's what I'm doing. And look at all these waves. This is crazy. From Meet Sean Shandari. Shadari? If I don't pronounce your name right, please don't hate me. You guys have, some of you just have normal usernames, and then other ones it's like 666 Fireball 67 420 Blaze It, and I sometimes can't pronounce that properly. Hey Adam, do you think the Leafs have a chance against the Bruins? I don't know if the Leafs are going to play the Bruins. Like I'm looking at the standings right now, and that's what I was doing kind of when we were playing that clip. Like unless like obviously the Bruins have got to win tonight. This is the chance to really kind of put it out of reach. Because I'm looking at, if you look at the Leafs, they have a game in hand on the Panthers, and even if they win that game, they're still 2 points behind them. And the Panthers are on a bit of a slide, right? They're 3-6-1 in their last 10. Leafs are looking good. They're 6-3-1. Bruins, okay, 6-4-0. I'm sure they'd like to improve on that. But you look at how difficult it is to leapfrog a team going into the playoffs, especially with the parity system that the NHL has. Like, if you were to just do wins and losses, I'm pretty sure Florida would be winning. Because I'm looking at because like if there was no overtime lost points, I'm pretty sure Florida would be in first place because they have 47 wins and they have 23 plus 5 losses, 28. That would be a first place team. So then I would be worried about the Bruins. But I'm feeling like, I'm looking at this and I'm going, I don't know that Florida's going to pass Boston. They're on a bit of a not the best streak at the moment. Even if they heat up going into the playoffs, when has Boston ever falter? Other than Game 7 against Florida last year. But, they're not playing Florida every night, right? Like, Boston seems to be able to just lock it down. And I didn't realize, I think, when the Matthews era started, and that's what I'm going to call it, I don't think I realized how difficult it is to do that. Like, to have teams that can actually do that is crazy. And we were talking about a little bit earlier in the period, but like, you're talking about a team that's like, okay, we're in the winning position and we're going to stay in the winning position. The Leafs, even now, like you look at the Florida game yesterday and it's like, okay, we're up 5-1 and we're going to throw some of our players out there that probably shouldn't be out there if we were truly locking it down. But as a Leafs fan, I can never feel comfortable about my team locking it down. Bruins fans, I know do. I know they can. So I'm looking at some of the questions here. We got one here from Jet Legends. So glad I got the kiss. Oh, by the way, Jet Legends is applying for a job. So can we all wish Jet Legends good luck and send kisses or waves, whatever we feel comfortable with? I'm applying for a assistant store manager position at a local retailer here in Australia. Wow. Hey, that's cool. Thank you from watching from Australia. Here's my question, and here's a question for the whole chat, and I want to know how did you find us? Because we're not like on any major sports network. We're just our own network. How did you find us? How did you listen to us for the first time? I'm always interested in that story because, one of the things, like when we go into like sales pitches for advertisers, like, how do your listeners find you? And I often don't really know. Is it like your friend told you to listen and you listen to them, or how's that all work? By the way, wow, look at all this. This is great. Look at all the comments. Thank you everybody for hanging out today. This is really cool. So what do we think? I'm waiting for the comments to come in, and while I am, wow, there's a lot going on in the chat. Thank you all for being a part of this. This is really cool. I'm learning how Steve doing this for as long as he has, at the weird hours that he's been doing it. Like it is, like it's really. I'm gonna gas him up here a little bit. He's a pretty impressive guy, eh? Like it's pretty cool that he's doing this. Scott Morton, Scott Morton from Ajax, Dangle Navy, ECHL, Leafs affiliates. Yeah, man, the Growlers thing. Deacon Sports and Entertainment. Basically, I guess they were. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but they own two clubs in the ECHL. They folded the Growlers today, but Trois Rivières is going to remain. They were able to sell them by the deadline, but I guess except for the players that are signed to AHL/NHL deals, everybody who works for the Growlers is now a free agent. Like it's just out there now. And I think that's kind of nuts. Okay, so here's a whole bunch of people telling me how you found us. Hey, Adam. Here we go. The Leafs lost to a Zamboni driver, and Steve was very red in my recommended posts, and the rest is history. That's a good one. Man, I remember that night. That was wild. Bailey Dossett, new member. Thank you for being a member, Bailey. I saw Steve. Where is it? I saw Steve on Sportsnet, and I got hooked when I was 12 or 13. Wow. Well, thank you for watching. Geonosis or Genesis. I think it's Geonosis. Anyway, it's going to be a Star Wars reference. I started listening to the Oilers podcast, and then I started listening to the SDPN to get a different take. Well, you'll get a different take. Oilers fans are amazing because it's so funny. Like for the longest time, the Leafs and Oilers paralleled each other so much, except for the Leafs never had any draft picks, and the Oilers were picking first overall. And I know our fan base is kind of go head to head because we're fans, and that's what happens. But I mean, I think the Oilers have surpassed the Leafs in terms of like how successful they've been in the last few years, obviously. But I feel like there's more in common with each other than not. Do you know what I'm saying? Wesley Novak, member as of 1 month. Steve's Dangits for me. I'm from the U.S. Wesley, where are you from? Love, by the way. Did you know? I don't know if I should say this. A quarter of the total SDPN audience is American, which I think is cool, and that grows all the time. One of the first places that we kind of took off because of Tumblr was Pittsburgh, and that was like 2013. We've been doing the show that long. Paul Bachand, new member. Thank you, Paul. I started watching around 2018, and through Steve and y'all gained an appreciation for the streaming roots and Toronto. And oh, you're a Boston fan. Played and I watched when Boston wasn't playing. Rounds 1 and 2 were painful last year. Yeah, they were. No kidding. All right, we're about to do the clap because we're going to align with the TV screen. Are you ready? Are you ready? Everybody's back on the bench. Everybody's back on the bench. And I'm going to do a better clap this period. Nesson screwed me on the last one. There it is. There it is. Okay? Did I do the clap properly that time? I hope I lined it up. Remember to like the stream, by the way. If you like the stream, it really helps. And I know that sounds really... I'm going to tell you to smash that like button. Smash it! The reason I want you to do that is because it helps the stream get out to other people. And maybe they want to come hang and join the community. So absolutely smash that like button. My nose is very itchy. I apologize. Wesley Novak. I'm in Idaho. Grew up an Oilers fan, but didn't watch hockey for a long time. You know, Wesley, I went through a little bit of that too. The Leafs were garbage for a while. And so I think I stopped, like I was watching them, but I stopped being like super hardcore for like 2 or 3 years. And I think I jumped back on when they got, like I was watching before Dion Phaneuf, but for whatever reason, when that trade happened, I remember my girlfriend at the time like texting me and going, they got Dion Phaneuf, and I was like, they're going to the Cup. Didn't work out that way. I'm hoping for a better period between these two teams. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little slow. We're 1855 for anybody wondering. Boston out shooting Nashville 12-6. Not entirely surprising. I feel like Nashville's got to play a defensive game. Hey, Charlie McAvoy's going to the box. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So he's going to the box for... This is what you got to look for. I don't think that's a playoff call. Watch the replay here. I mean, it's a little neon knee-ish. Tripping? I don't think so. That's a weird call. Like, because this is the thing. Both of these teams are playoff teams. So you're going to expect that refs are going to give them playoff calls, right? Like it's starting to ramp up to that. And as Charlie McAvoy, I remember when we were playing Boston in one of the series where we got destroyed in Game 7. I remember calling Charlie McAvoy kind of dirty, and Bruins fans really gave it to me. And it occurred to me later why, because I'm like, my eyes don't deceive me. This guy is kind of dirty. And it's because the Bruins are all kind of dirty. And by Leaf standards, that's what dirty looked like. Like the Leafs played such a clean hockey game that when you watch the Bruins play, you're like, oh, all these guys they're dirty criminals. And what I've realized since is that Charlie McAvoy was just playing playoff hockey, and that's how you survive. And look at how successful Boston's been. Kind of works for them. I want to see Nashville's power play against this Boston penalty kill because I want to get a sense of Boston's penalty kill, which looks pretty damn good right now. Yeah. Ryan O'Reilly wears a lot of hats for this team too. It's kind of crazy. I thought when he signed in Nashville, I thought, okay, obviously I get the tax-free thing. Obviously I get the Nashville thing. Who wouldn't want to live there? But I was like, is he signing a contract because he wants to play in the playoffs? Because if we're being honest with each other, did we think that Nashville was like a lock to make the playoffs this year? I mean, come on. There's a reason we're doing this stream, right? It's because I was making fun of them, and they fed it to me. But like, if you kind of look at him now, and it's like, man, what a perfect fit. He's been spectacular for them. Boston really tying Nashville down here in the corners. What a great penalty kill by the Bruins here. This is great. It's so nice to watch a game and be completely relaxed too, and just enjoy hockey. I don't get to do this enough. Feel like you're watching the Leafs and you're stressed, and then you go and you watch like an Oilers game or something, or a Flames game or a Canucks game on a Saturday night afterwards, and it's like, oh, this is refreshing. This is nice. Oh yeah, I love hockey. I don't hate myself. Steve gifted 10 membership as in Steve Dangle. Well, that's nice. Thank you, Steve. Hi, Adam, watching from Columbus. This is from Buckeye Fan 822. Started watching because you guys were the only non-local guys to discuss the Blue Jackets on occasion. Plus, you guys are hilarious. Well, thank you so much. We've been talking a little bit about how people found the show because, we're not on like radio or television. So how did you find us? MKI Sports member, 1 month. MKI Sports, you're a member, 1 month. Thank you for being a member, by the way. STP VIP member. I kind of like hockey a little bit because of STPN. Well, that's really nice. I do like that. Appreciate that. Delta Go, who is a member, who's been a member for a month. Thank you for the $5 donation, by the way. Don't forget about the apples tomorrow, Adam. Stop at Superstore on the way home and put them in your car so that they don't get lost. Yeah, I know. I owe Steve and Jesse apples. And the reason we do apple bets is because specifically Steve and I probably don't need any more calories than we've already consumed. We both love food. What are you going to do? All right, so just going back to the game here, because I'm just yakking away. That power play was really only good to kind of have the Bruins show off how good they are at the penalty kill. Another reason to hate the Bruins, but also respect them. Like, God damn it, Ron Burgundy, I hate you, but I respect you. That's how I feel about the Bruins. But you'll never hear me say that in the playoffs if the Leafs are playing them. See, when Pasternak's on the ice, it just feels like something's going to happen, And this is what is so scary about going head-to-head against the Bruins in the playoffs is he's on the ice a lot. And I know that sounds really stupid, but like every time he's on the ice, it's stressful. I remember when the Leafs played Tampa the first time a couple of years ago, Kucherov, every time he was on the ice, made something happen. And Kucherov is kind of scary too. And the Leafs were not playing very tough hockey, as you know. And Kucherov just rocked us on several occasions. And you just, especially when you take a penalty, you're like, oh no, we're basically getting 2 minutes of Kucherov. And it kind of felt like that with when the Leafs would take on Bergeron and Marchand. And it's funny because Pastrnak in like 18 and 19 really didn't get the due that he was deserved league wide. He was so good in those series with Bergeron and Marchand. He was so good, but they were kind of the stars and they were Canadian and they played for the Olympic team, whatever. Man, like he's so unbelievably good. And in Toronto, Austin Matthews sucks up a lot of the oxygen because of how many goals he scores. But like, could you not see Pastrnak netting 60? Like if scoring's going up in the league, which it looks like it is, that feels like the next guy to do it. Don't you think? Unless Ovi has some crazy bounce back year next year. We got a shot. Well done, Nashville. It's Nashville's first shot of the period. Yay! All right, fantastic. That's great. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just hanging out here, talking. Ryan O'Reilly in there again, just doing more stuff, doing everything. I wonder if Nashville, like, obviously they've got the depth situation sorted out. They got the defense situation sorted out. Really what they need is high-end talent. The free agent class isn't great this year. You've got obviously high end talent. Like I'm ignoring Phil Forsberg, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like they, let's say it's Edmonton. We're talking about McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman and I don't think that anybody would accuse the Nashville Predators of having that beyond Phil Forsberg. But like if they got like one more guy like that, are they not an instant Stanley Cup contender? UC Saros and net. Maybe they are a Stanley Cup contender now. They kind of feel like the Islanders of the West a little bit. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, Kevin L is saying in the chat, someone will make a run at Gretzky's 92 goals. Yeah, you know what, Kevin? So it's interesting that the scoring, like there was a bracket done, and we featured it on the podcast about where we are in terms of scoring in the NHL all time, like how many total goals have been scored. And we're right underneath the median line. Like if the 80s were high, and then I think the mid to late 20s were high because that's when the forward pass was introduced. And, being honest, like if you're the NHL, you want there to be scoring, right? You want there to be this crazy amount of goals. I look at this and I'm like, why wouldn't they want to return to close to the 80s and like early 90s? When you had games that were regularly like 8-6. I don't see a problem with that because you're going to see incredible saves. There's going to be high event hockey. It was the New Jersey Devils that ruined it for everybody. Let's be honest. The neutral zone trap was the worst thing ever. If you grew up in the dead puck era like I did, it was terrible. It's awful. Brutal hockey, and it was really brutally effective. They won cups. They won like 3 cups in like 7 years. Yeah, Pasta had 61 last year. Okay. Listen. Sorry, I don't remember David Pasternak's stats from last year. I'm not a Bruins fan, but I should have probably known that. I feel like Pasta is I think Matthews, I think all these guys, my whole point here is that the scoring is going up at such a rate, and the rules are pushing it towards that, which is good, that can we see a 50 and 39 like Gretzky did? Can we see an 82 goals in 82 games? Are we that far away from it? Think about where we were 5-6 years ago when getting 60 goals was like, holy shit, right? Like Stamkos did it, and everybody's like, this is insane. Like, how did he do that? Anyway, long story short, I think it's coming, and I think it's coming soon. So Justin is feeding me some of the super chats in the thing because I'm not logged into the SDPN account. Justin Rose, who's been a member for a month. Hey, Justin. Hi from your goalie from the Kingston Frontenac's game. Love to see you doing a stream. Oh, okay. This is a hilarious story. So Justin, we went to the Frontenac's game, and they put us in these big bubbles. Oh, we got a goal. Did we get a goal? Am I an idiot? Did I miss the goal? I did. I think. I'm just yakking away. No, I didn't. No goal. Okay. So they put us in these big bubbles at intermission, and we had to kick a tiny little soccer ball around in our shoes on the ice, and Justin was my goalie. And I did not score. I'm sorry, Justin. Jacob, who's been a member for a month, loving this. You should do a F1 stream soon. I think Justin and I would like. Justin, by the way, is running production for us. I think we'd like to do that. I feel like I would feel bad a little bit, though, interrupting Justin's time on the weekend because he is such a big Formula One fan. He's shaking his head no, like he wants to kill me. Yeah, yes. No, you don't want to kill. Oh, you would want to do that. So Justin wants to do it. Crew Kid. Hey, guys, I found you just kind of randomly after the Dangits a couple years ago and the David Ayers LFR in 21, and then it snowballed from there. I'm a Ranger fan from, I think, Illinois, but I watch all 3 episodes every week. Well, Crew Kid 52, if you sign up, you should get the VIP membership too, because we got a 4th episode every week. Clock update, 12:55 right now, remaining in the first, if you're watching when I'm watching, which is a bit of a snore fest. But that's okay. The Bruins are like doubling up on the shots here, but if I told you that the shots were 15-8 and Nashville was leading 2-0, like, would you be surprised? That's kind of the game they play. I'm not expecting Nashville to outshoot the Boston Bruins basically ever, unless there's some sort of blowout and there's score effects. It's been a pretty even game. Oh, and there's Jason Zucker, upset, angry. That was an interesting pickup for Nashville, by the way, at the trade deadline, Jason Zucker. And it was interesting that Arizona signed him and then was like, please get him off the books. Coyotes are such a weird franchise. Like, really, like, I'm not trying to punch down here, but they're weird. Like, the Matt Dumba trade, full salary for like a 6th-round pick swap. Like, it's like, please don't make us pay money. And you have to wonder, is there a need for us should they bring the floor of the salary cap up? I feel like it should be higher because there needs to be, like, you got to at least try at some point here. So Bruins breaking out of the zone. DeBrusk grabbing onto people as he does. You see there, DeBrusk just broke that play up in the neutral zone. I don't know if you saw that. It's the little things like that. And Boston does this all the time. They do it all the time, and they do it so well in the playoffs, and it is so annoying when you're the other team, especially the Leafs, who do kind of take their time getting going in the neutral zone. They love a back pass, and Boston loves to pick off a back pass. Oh, my TV screen just went out. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, here we are. We're back. Yeah, the Bruins in the neutral zone are just, it's pain. It's pain. It's pain. Looking at the chat. So I'm not sure if anybody else is having issues, but I've got some internet issues, but the screen is coming in and out. So I apologize. I might just have to tap dance here. Sandwedge just asked, wow, how old is Adam Wylde in that thumbnail? In the thumbnail, I am 20. 20? 21. No, I'm 20. I'm 20. So fun fact, I was a radio DJ at 19 on the weekends at a station called B101 in Barrie, Ontario. And then I got a job in Halifax, and I had grown out my hair. And Justin Fisher remembers this hair, of course. And Justin, who's doing the stream tonight, who's been amazing. And I grew my hair out. And that is very difficult when you've got curly hair like I do. So that day I was having a good hair day. But I'll tell you, there were a lot of days where I didn't. And I also, it kind of was easy because I couldn't really afford to get my hair cut. I think in Barrie I was making like $8 an hour to be on the radio, like nothing. $8 an hour, like more than that, but radio doesn't pay that well, especially at the beginning. So I was happy not to get a haircut. Now we got a few of these supers coming in. I want to say Liam Thompson saying, "Can you say happy birthday to my buddy Austin?" Yes, Liam. You got to tell me how old this guy is, though. Like, are you 1? Are you 2? Do we do that the entire stream? Man, it's like I'm watching the game here, and I'm sorry I'm not narrating it a little bit more. I'm just your talkative friend that's just won't shut up during the game. But like, if you're seeing what I'm seeing here, it's kind of a little bit back and forth, not hugely dangerous. Watch, I'll say that, and then they'll score. It's sort of it feels like a Nashville defensive game. Boston trying to pour it on, can't break through, that sort of thing. I lived stealthy gaming. I lived in Dartmouth at the time, and I remembered when the Bounce launched. Yeah, I was part-time there, and I remember when I was in Halifax, when that picture was taken, by the way, on the thumbnail, that my boss basically said, listen, if you're going to come out here, we have no idea how many hours we can give you. So you may have to get another job. And it looked like I was going to have to, I was going to go work at a Montana's or something like that just to supplement my income. And all of a sudden he was able to open up more hours for me so I could do not just the weekends, but the overnights as well, which was cool. And then I worked on the promotions team as well. So I used to go and we had the Bounce Mobile, and we would go around and we had a t-shirt cannon, and we used to fire t-shirts into the crowd. And I remember I had to interview a group called Girlicious. There was a reality show called what was that? It wasn't Making the Band. That was the Diddy one. Not Diddy. We don't want to talk about Diddy. But there was anyway, it was like a Pussycat Dolls reality show where they were making a younger version of the Pussycat Dolls, and there's going to be 4 members. And I remember I pulled up, parked the truck perfectly. We had to get pictures because nobody was doing video back then. There was no place to put it. except for this little site called YouTube. I had no idea how much that was going to affect my life. Anyway, when I was backing it in later to do something else, I smashed the back of the bounce mobile and caused $1,000 damage. And they were going to make me pay for it until the general manager stepped in and said he can't afford that. So the bounce was nice enough to pick that up, and I will always appreciate it. Oh, Crew Kid 52, Long Island, still love you guys, even if you got it wrong. Well, that's fine. That's fine. There's people in the chat that remember Girlicious? Yes. I think they had a song. I'm going to look it up. I think it was called Like Me. Girlicious. So I'm looking this up on my computer. Yeah, Like Me. Yeah. So this is bad. I'm only telling you this story on the stream because this is bad. But I'll tell you that Girlicious, several members, we got them to read these lines. So if I want you to imagine that you're me and you have that haircut and you're 20 and you're nervous and you've just smashed the bounce mobile. Okay. Not a good day. Not a good day. And we'd had like a fan meet and greet. And so there were like listeners there, and I was terrible on the radio at this point. It was so bad, but they hired me anyway. Thank God. And game's back on. I'll let you know if anything happens, although I'm sure you're watching too. We're at 8:49, by the way, if you're trying to align. Anyway, Girlicious, we had to get them to read liners. So it would be like, hey guys, this is Girlicious, and you're listening to 101.3 The Bounce. And then we'd be like, hey guys, you're listening to The Morning Bounce with Frankie, Jordan, and Amber on 101.3 The Bounce. You've heard those before on the radio, right? So we actually like hold a microphone up to them and be like, can you read them? And oftentimes they're like 2-3 pages long of these liners. Girlicious couldn't read them. They actually like could not read them. And I was like, oh no. So then I had to stand there, and I didn't know what to do. So I had to like feed them lines. So I would look at the page and be like, can you say this? And then I handed them the mic and they would say it. And then it took a lot longer. It was scary. I was really nervous. But they were very, very nice. When are we getting a watch along? This is from Jorge Victor Aguilar. When are we getting a watch along from your Leafs box? Listen, billionaires like myself, we don't like to show off our lifestyle. We don't want to make you peasants jealous. So sorry, but we're not getting one. Bruins with a chance there. I keep waiting for this game Nashville seems to be playing better in the second period here, but I keep waiting for this game to happen. 8-10, by the way, is where we're at. And we're not even at a face-off yet. So if you're looking to align with the stream, if you're just joining us, 8-10 is where we're at. Liam Thompson, who's been a member for the month. Hey, Liam. Liam was looking for the birthday shout out. He's turning 20. We both love the show. Thank you, Liam. Warrior Wump. Still remember listening to the last episode of Adam Wylde and Jax Irwin on 99.9 Virgin Radio driving home on a Friday. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it was a great show. It was lots of fun. And we loved it, and it was like really special, especially 2019 when it was TJ and Jesse Blake, obviously from SDPN, was on it too. Like, we really had a great year, but I'll be honest, COVID really kicked the shit out of us. It was a pretty bad time, and I don't blame anybody, and it's certainly not on the show, but I don't think anybody knew how to handle what was going on. There was a whole bunch of stuff in the radio where I'm like, dude, like, what are we trying here? What are we doing? Like, it was 8 weeks from like the start of COVID shutdowns to whatever, when I got back in the studio. And then it was just like, it was really depressing. It was really hard. It sucked. So it was nice when we got to come and do the podcast, because it felt like at least we could talk about sports or the potential of sports coming back. Can I get a goal from the Boston Bruins and Nashville Predators here, please? Like one goal? We're 35 minutes into this game, 7:41 left in the first. I'm rounding up. Or in the second. I'm rounding up. Can we get a goal, please? By the way, for the Preds fans in the chat, is this what you're used to? Because listen, I think I'm spoiled as a Leaf fan. We score a bajillion goals. I think the Leafs have scored the most goals in the NHL since January 1st, and I believe the number is 150. That means that we get about 50 goals a month, which means everybody gets less, right? And I feel like we deserve a goal. We deserve a goal. Speaking of depressing and sucking, from Darth Quater, this game. I know, we need a goal here. What's going on with these guys? Are they both bad? Should we hate them both? Should we boo them both? The Bruins and the Boo Preds? We can work on that. Adam, you should look up slip and slide hockey. Could be a fun SDPN summer event. I've never heard of that. What is slip and slide hockey? I mean, I know what a slip and slide is. If it's what I think it is, which is water on a slippery surface, it feels like something you should blow your knee out to. That's what I feel. Jacqueline K. Hey, sorry I'm late. I just remembered that you had a stream tonight. Just watching my Habs dominate the Panthers. No playoffs. It's all we got. Anyway, happy to be here. This is awesome. Hey, Jacqueline, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. I would like a goal, though, Jacqueline. I'm happy. I don't even know what the Habs game is. I could look that up. Jesse and Drew were giving me shit earlier because I was like talking about whatever I was talking about and not really mentioning the game. But like, what is there to? Oh my goodness, the Canadians 5-2 over the Panthers. What's going on in Florida, guys? Like, if Boston wins this game, I feel like the Leafs and Panthers are basically a lock. And if Toronto wins tomorrow night, this is what I'm going to be watching. Is Florida playing tomorrow night? They are not. If Toronto beats Tampa tomorrow, the Leafs are within 2 points of home ice advantage. Like, I don't think the Leafs are catching the Bruins, and I think everybody kind of knows that, unless something crazy happens. But if Montreal is able to hold on to this, and listen, the Leafs almost didn't hold on to a 5-1 and a 5-2 and a 5-3 last night against the Panthers. The Panthers can score at will. I am kind of interested to see what happens there. Like, could the Leafs get home ice advantage? I'd kind of resigned myself to saying that they weren't going to. But, and speaking of, if Nashville wins tonight, I believe, yeah, they're tied. Oh my goodness. This is Nashville, man, I just eating so much shit with Nashville. It's amazing. Nashville, like, probably can't catch Winnipeg, but Winnipeg's been not good. Like, if you look at their last 10, and this is this isn't like a deep dive, 4-5-1. There was a time when it was like Winnipeg, Colorado, and Dallas. This is like a week and a half ago. They all had like 93 points. And Winnipeg has not really moved on from that, whereas Colorado has 100 and Dallas has 103. If you got to think Nashville's kind of trying to play somebody else other than, because they'd be playing. Oh boy, I'm just going to look at the wild card here. If the playoffs started today, Nashville are playing the Dallas Stars. Do you think that perhaps they would like to or would prefer to play the Colorado Avalanche because that's their choice? That's rough. Yikes. Who would they have a better shot against anyway? Like, we're all pretty convinced that, and no offense to Jets fans, but based on their last 10, and it's always about being hot going into the playoffs, like, we're all pretty convinced Dallas and Colorado are going to meet in the second round, aren't we? I don't know. It just feels like that. Jared P., $20. Oh, Jared, thank you for donating $20. Just want to say that you're loved and valued so much, Adam. I hope you're having a great day. STP has gotten me through some tough work days. Also, Adam, you're precious and adorable. We shall protect you at all costs. Well, thank you, Jared P. I really appreciate that. Scott Morton, was your name Adam Halifax for the Bounce? Adam H was my name at the Bounce. I don't know why. I think so. There's a record rep. His name is Adam H, and he lived in Vancouver. And I know him. He's a nice guy. And that's who I believe I was named after. And I think the H was just convenient for Halifax. But my boss gave it to me before I even got there. And I was like, I don't really like that name when he told me the name. And then he's like, well, the email has already been made. So we can't change it. So it was because it was really hard to change an email name on Outlook in 2008, 2009. So it was Adam H at 1013thebounce.com. How about that? From Crash Test, $2. Hey, thank you for sending that in. Habs are slaughtering the Cats. Hi from Germany. From Germany. What time is it in Germany? It's got to be like 2 a.m. How do you? I'm always curious, like, because we do have so many like hardcore European fans that watch hockey. Like, how? Unless you watch it on replay, like, are you just staying up and watching and not dying the next day? You must be in your 20s, because I, as a 30-year-old with a 5-year-old, or 30-year-old, I can be 36 in a few weeks. As a 35-year-old with a 5-year-old, no chance. I haven't seen the backside, the good side of 2:00 I saw it once this year, and that was my only time out at a club, and it was during All-Star, and that was my first time at a club in like 5 years because of COVID. Crazy. Are we going to see a goal tonight? 34% of people said no. We're just going to see it in the shootout. Boy, I know 65% wins that, but that's dark. It's 3:30 in Germany, according to Justin Fisher. 3:30 a.m. You must just be up early for work. It's like working on a morning show. Wow. 4:30 a.m. here from El Pajalati. I apologize for the name pronunciation. I'm terrible at it. 4:30 a.m. My sick 2-year-old is keeping me up. Yeah, man, been there. That's rough. That is real rough. Those nights are tough because they can't even really tell you what's wrong. You just have to assume that you're hoping maybe that you got to the problem. Brutal. It's so much better when they start talking because at least they can tell you what's wrong. Now, they're a little dramatic sometimes about what's wrong, but okay, Jake DeBrusk is in the box. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a power play. Are we going to get a goal? Based on the way the Bruins played the last penalty, last shorthanded situation they were in, I don't know. They're pretty good at shorthanded, and Nashville's not really offensive, but we'll see. We'll see. Listen, Philip Forsberg and Roman Josi are on this team, so Crash Test Fetus. That's a heck of a name. I am in the forensic lab, and there is some downtime, and that is why I'm here. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, that is your first super on a live stream ever. Thank you, Crash Test Fetus. Thank you. Also, where did you come up with that name? It's a good name. Okay, so we're at 5:31. Here we go. Oh, no, nothing. Come on. Man, I'm telling you, the Bruins penalty kill. Boo. Boo hiss. You're killing me tonight. Do you think, Washington's been a real surprise, right? Like them getting in, being a wild card team, that sort of thing. And let's say, and then I know Detroit's tied with them, but Washington's got 2 games in hand, so I'm giving the edge to Washington. So playoffs start today. It's Washington versus Boston. No, it's Washington versus New York. It's Tampa versus Boston. That'd be a pretty good series, right? Because as Tampa's looked a little sluggish this year. I'm sure they'll be back next year in full force because they're Tampa. But they've played a lot of hockey. Some of the guys are getting a little bit older. Maybe your depth isn't the same as it used to be, although it looks pretty good to me if I watch a Tampa Bay Lightning game. Boston-Tampa would be an absolute banger series. Like, it'd be so nice to see 2 teams that have destroyed my dreams so many times in the past go up against each other. Yeah, Justin's saying I should cover that series. That'd be a good one. My worry about that series is that it would be on the same night as the Leafs. And I'm not going head-to-head with the Leafs, and I'm not missing the Leafs playoffs. So it's just not going to do that. Whoop! We have a goal! No goal! What? Did that go off the... That did not go off the post. He had a wide-open cage. Are you kidding me? No. Oh. Man. He Max Domi'd that. I don't know if you've been watching Leaf games this year, guys, but Max Domi's hit a lot of posts, and it's not fair. Deserves better than this. Wow. I can't wait till the play stops and we get a replay of that. Wide open. Goalie's completely out of position. Here we go. We finally got a whistle. 3:32 to go. The shots are even, and you just probably want to die if you're that Preds player. I didn't even catch who it was. I didn't see the number. Here we go. So, oh my God. How does that stay out? You're kidding me. Oh, and it's Josi. How do you miss that? Oh. Just like, are we getting fancy on the shot? Was he trying to lift it over Zacha's stick? Because Pavel Zacha is a really good defensive, like he's great on the PK. I wonder if the reason, because like normally if you got a goalie that out of position, you're slapping it along the ice, right? Normally. Was he trying to get it over Zacha's stick? I don't know. Oh, big shot, big save. UC Saros. Man, that sucks for Nashville. Oh my God. Oh, that sucks. Oh, I'm not over it. I'm not over it, guys. Okay. So, with 2 minutes and 55 seconds to go, I want you to imagine this scenario, okay? Bruins, who've looked pretty good tonight. We're just never going to get a goal, are we? But if the Bruins score here in the last 2 minutes and 42 seconds, that's going to be a dagger. Like, imagine you're going in, somebody got a penalty, and it's got to be Nashville. Boston's been called twice already. It's got to be Nashville. You can predict with these refs, right? It's like, oh, penalties are 2-0-1 team. It's going to have to be, we're going to find something. Just watching the ref here. Okay. All right. Let's see the replay. And I'll get back to my point in a second. Oh, yeah, bit of a rough high stick. You got to control your stick, man. You got to keep that down. That's a stupid penalty. They got to call that. They're never calling that in the playoffs, but they got to call that regular season. So Boston's going on the power play. So this is the stuff that haunts my nightmares. This is the stuff that I hated. Cole Smith to the box, by the way, because you got 2 minutes and then the period's essentially over. So Boston is on the power play for the entire 2 minutes unless they score. And you've just missed an open net on your power play, not even like a minute and a half before. This is where Boston kills you. We'll see if they do it this time, but I've just seen them do this to the Leafs. I've seen Boston do pretty much everything to the Leafs. Like, there isn't a bad scenario that you could come up with as a Leaf fan that Boston hasn't done to us. It's true. $10. Give the chat some feet. That is hilarious. Listen, what's that? Justin's talking to me right now. All those hardworking construction workers. Justin's warning me not to give you feet, but maybe if we get a goal here by the end of the second, I might throw up a socked foot. Might happen. Listen, anything for a goal. Anything for a goal. Aiden, new member here. Hi, Adam. I live in Barbados, and I'm a huge Oilers fan. How far do you think Edmonton will go? I love a Barbados mention in the chat. Justin and I both love Barbados. Have been there many, many times, both of us. Fortunate enough. Beautiful island. Barbados was the last place that I actually went on vacation before COVID, and they were talking about it. And I remember getting tested at the Barbados airport. How far do you think Edmonton goes? Okay, listen. Let's look at the playoff picture. Let's just look because there's a minute left and there's a power play on, and we'll talk a little bit and then we'll wait and see here. Edmonton is going to play Vegas, and that's going to be a really hard series. It is. It's going to be real tough unless LA sneaks back into that spot, and they could because LA and Vegas are playing keep away with the playoffs for whatever reason. 57 seconds left. Oh, do we have a break? Nope. Man, O'Reilly's look good in this game, but Nashville needs a little more here from everybody else. The Vegas Golden Knights, to me, the way that they manhandled the Winnipeg Jets last year. Now, I know the Jets are a lot different. The Jets were a really good team, and Rick Bowness was pissed because you remember that press conference? He just, after Game 5 and they lost, he was pissed because he knew they were better than that. But I don't know that here we go. Oh, I thought Shattenkirk had one there. Oh, we have a break. Ullmark gets the shoulder up. Man, we're not getting a goal. We're not getting a goal this period. Okay, so we got a bit of a scrum here. I'll get back to the point in a second. This is good. You got to listen. The Bruins are always going to try to mess you up. You got to jump in there. How far do I think the Oilers are going to go? I think that if they can get past Vegas, it is still pretty ugly. But I do feel like the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators or the LA Kings. The thing about Vancouver is this. They've had a great regular season. They've been spectacular. Nobody's taking that away from them. My question always is, does that put extra pressure on them going into the playoffs? Are they going to be a little bit jumpy? Well, teams like the Kings, teams like the Oilers, and the Predators too have made the playoffs a ton in the last decade. Vancouver hasn't. It's been a long time since they've been in. So a lot of these guys have seen very little playoff action since like COVID, right? 2020, the 2021 where they kind of snuck in, even though they really didn't deserve to. And Thatcher Demko stood on his head and he was amazing. I think the Oilers go minimum second round, but if you are anything less than the third round, if you're the Oilers, it's considered a failure. Sorry, that was a big ramble, but there was a lot going on. Okay. Offensive zone faceoff. O'Reilly wins it. Let's go. Let's get a goal. Come on. I'm looking at Forsberg. Forsberg. No. 8 seconds to go. Okay, we're going to get another offensive zone faceoff. This O'Reilly-Forsberg line, it's letting the whole chat down. They need to be ones that score here. Okay. I like that this is getting a little chippy. At least maybe we'll get a fight here. Something. It's one of those games. I bet Jack Edwards. I bet Jack Edwards is doing a pretty good job of firing up the base here. How do Bruins fans feel about Jack Edwards? By the way, I don't mind a little bias if it's for your local team. I know he's a little outrageous sometimes, but yeah, there it is. We go to the third period and no goals, guys. Okay, question for the chat. I'm not asking who scores. I'm not asking which team scores more. How many goals do we get in the third period? How many goals? Let me know in the chat. Need to know. How many goals are we getting? Please. Please. Please say many. Please say 10, 15. Mm-hmm. Justin. Okay. Do a poll. Will this game go to overtime? I feel like I'm looking at some of the chat. Some of the numbers are coming in. Jacob says 0. Thanks, Jacob. My first stream. Can you imagine they go 0-0 in overtime? 12 goals. Thank you, Joe Smith. Really appreciate that. A lot of people saying 0. Bailey said 69. That's great. You think 6? Glenn is saying it's going to be 6-6 and then into a shootout. Raider Rich 2001 over 9,000 goals. That's a lot. MK1 Sports 69 420. Nice and blaze it. Man, this is just it's brutal. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you for a second because I need to go to the bathroom and weirdly enough blow my nose. And I'm gonna leave you with Justin. Can you tell me what kind of clip are we leaving them with for now? What are we leaving? Oh, this is crazy. Okay, Jeff Skinner's playing his 1,000th game tonight. Okay. That's all I'm going to say, but the stat I'm about to drop on your head is crazy. You'll see it. It's coming up from today's episode, and we'll be right back in like 8-10 minutes, okay? Probably much less. See you soon. Jeff Skinner will play his 1,000th game tonight against the Washington Capitals. He has yet to play a playoff game.
Mm-hmm. That's so sad, man. And like,
I really... a good player.
Yeah, I feel like it's not his fault.
Oh, no. I mean, the early 2010s Carolina Hurricanes weren't good. Remember the Carmanos family were literally suing each other, like son suing father.
Yep.
And then they sold to Tom Dundon, and right around that time, that's when he ended up in Buffalo.
Dysfunction to dysfunction. And like, we got to stop with this playoffs mean absolutely everything to a player's legacy thing. Did Jay Bouwmeester stink right up until the point he went to the St. Louis Blues, won a cup, and then it's all forgiven and forgotten?
I forgot he won with the Blues.
Yeah, but like...
It was like his last year, wasn't it?
But this dude...
People were saying that he did stink. They were like, yeah, he plays a lot, but he's not actually good.
He was a minute merchant for a long time. And, oh, yeah, he's a minute muncher. He eats all those minutes. Okay, what's he doing in those minutes? And it was a whole big old bunch of losing games. And then he goes to the Blues, and they win. And, oh, he's good now. He's good now. It's great. He's like, that's not how it works. Ron Hainsey, bad. Cup, good. That's not how it works.
Well, that's how the Leafs looked at it. Oh, he's won the cup. Now he's pairing defenseman.
We'll take him.
We'll take him for 82 games of that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know how you guys had Dave Bolin and Chris Versteeg on affordable contracts? All right, let's triple their salary and we'll take them.
Yeah, and Dave Bolin will play 7 games.
7? Don't get me started.
Steve, Jeff Skinner trivia for you. What number skater will he become that skated their 1,000th game in his career? What number is he?
I'm pretty sure it's in the 300s. I'm going to say 369.
393.
Ooh.
Very close. Very close.
So I always look at it like this. If you were to tell a general manager on draft day, if you pick this player, they will be in the top 400 players all time in games played.
They'll play 1,000 games.
That GM's picking them.
100%.
Yeah, then you'll get Nick Leddy.
He's
He skated in his 1,000th game this year.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
You could also draft Nick Leddy. So.
There are a bunch of players who have played 1,000 where you're like, yeah?
Who is, second part of the trivia, who's next closest? Who will be, Jeff Skinner, 330, 93. So who is going to become 394?
So who was drafted in 2010?
Out of every NHL. And you asked for Jeff Skinner's goal total, 357 in his career, 669 points, 1,000 games coming. It's
pretty nice.
He's literally one of the best goal scorers in the league over that span.
Yep.
In a terrible era for goal scoring.
Oh, yeah. So who is 394 out of the entire NHL? Adam, you can also submit an answer.
Oh, I'm going to go with Jeff Skinner's junior Team Canada teammate. I don't know if he's hit 1,000 yet. Braden Shen.
Ooh,
That's a good guess.
That is a good guess. I like that.
I'm trying to think of guys he was on that Team Canada team with. Cassian, but no. Braden
Has Doughty hit 1,000?
Yeah.
Must have, right?
Doughty was drafted before Skinner.
Yeah.
Because Skinner was what, 2009?
Skinner was draft 2010, 7th overall.
10.
Doughty's at 1169.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to say Tyler Seguin, but he's missed a ton of time.
What about Jamie Benn? He was around that draft.
When was he
wasn't
drafted?
Jamie Benn? I don't know. I can't look it up.
Sagan's 2010 draft
Second
pick.
overall.
Ben's got to be 2012,
And
right?
Hall is also 2010. He missed a ton of
Is
time.
Nuge on there?
Nuge is 2011.
So could it be Nuge?
Could be Nuge. Could be Nuge. Go with Nuge.
Or even Jordan Eberle?
Who's your each answers?
I'll say Nuge.
Adam wants Nuge.
Jordan Eberle to be difficult and steal it from Adam. At
I
the
like
last
that.
minute.
All right, so
Price is right.
I'm going to tell you right now, both of you are incorrect.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
It's neither of those guys. Nuge is at 873. Not a bad guess.
Not a bad guess.
And then Steve, who's your
That's
answer?
2 seasons
You said
off.
Eberle?
I said Eberle, yeah. He was drafted 2008.
Eberle is 1010.
Damn it, I missed it.
Just had his 1000th
yeah!
game 10 games ago.
I remember that.
I think we mentioned it on the show.
Oh, you see how short our memories are.
Some of the other guesses you threw out. Jamie Ben's at 1105.
Oh, not even.
Sagan's at 964. And the correct Braden Shen, by the way, 933. So you were like in the ballpark with a lot of these. This is really impressive, actually, because I give you the whole league to guess from. But the correct answer is Erik Karlsson. He is coming up on his 1,000th game.
D'Artagnan.
He has currently 994 career games. So
That tracks.
he will get to 1,000 very soon.
He was drafted 2 years ahead of Skinner, but has missed a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The injuries push him back there. So yeah.
Wow.
2008, 15th overall pick.
Wow.
There you go. Fun games played stats.
One of
pretty
the worst
neat.
trades in NHL history. I'm not talking about the 1-2 Pittsburgh, by the way.
No.
No, it was didn't the Blues trade the draft pick to Ottawa in exchange for David Rundblad? I'm pretty sure.
How much stock do you put into they traded the draft pick and then you selected somebody? Because I forgive the team that traded the pick because you don't know what pick that team would have made. Like if it's
Except if it's a top 3 pick. Like one place I will not give the Leafs credit is the Kessel trade. Because they didn't understand how shitty their team was. They didn't understand how little Kessel was going to do to fix that. And they didn't understand
acquiring Kessel.
Yeah, acquiring Kessel and trading that pick, which ended up being Sagan. Because I think if you're in the top 3 to 5, even though you don't know, you have a pretty good idea. And the Leafs didn't expect to be that bad, but that team, barring Kessel missing the first month, like that was a shit team even when he was back.
Well, they knew he was going to miss the first month too. So this guy is a significant enough part of your roster that you'd give up two firsts and a second for him, and he's going to miss the first month, and it's no big deal. Like that's flawed thinking. I'd say time matters.
Yeah.
So like the Leafs trading a first round pick with Patrick Marleau, and that turns into Seth Jarvis. Well, the Leafs didn't draft Seth Jarvis. The Carolina Hurricanes did. The Karlsson Rundblad one is so bad.
So you don't have it correct.
I don't have it correct.
You don't have the player
What is
correct.
it?
It's Nashville acquired in exchange for the 2008 first round pick.
That's true.
They acquired Chet.
Actually, you can keep this going for a little bit longer. Oh, am I up? Sorry, guys. Hey, so I wanted to do a check-in around the league because by the way, thank you for watching the SDP clip there, because there's been some happenings going on in the NHL right now. Florida. There's been 40 penalty minutes in the game. Nick Cousins was given, I think, a 10-minute misconduct as well for shooting the puck after. And I think, obviously shooting the puck after the whistle, that is, it was a pretty nasty game, and I can't wait to see the highlights from it. But what is crazy is that Florida has one regulation win in the last 10 games. Like something's wrong there. Something's wrong there. And honestly, I got to say, like, I'm kind of surprised by it. And I'm a little bit worried by Florida because I feel like as soon as they're bad, people will count them out, and then they'll turn around and do what they did in the playoffs last year. And again, it's against the Boston Bruins. So I don't know. Anyway, everybody in the chat, I forgot this was a stream, and I just thought I was watching the SDP. Yeah, well, the new episode's out. It's a really good one, actually. There was a lot to talk about after you get like an extended long weekend. It's always kind of fun to come back and go, which topic should we handle? Checking out the scoreboard around the league. The Wild and the Sens are still playing. They're at the end of the second period. Wild up 2-1. You already know about the Predators and Bruins and how nothing has happened in that game. We should have done the Montreal-Florida game. I only did this on a lark because somebody was like, hey, the Predators are playing the Bruins. You should do a Pred stream. Now, this is me doing it. And thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, you saw, I already told you the Canadiens beat the Panthers 5-3. The Penguins beating the Devils. We got to talk about this. The Penguins beating the Devils, guys, is a big deal. And you're probably like, why? Who cares? Is it Sidney Crosby, blah, blah, blah. The Penguins are not that far out of the playoffs. I think if we're going off of so this is their 75th game. They're 3 points out. And they're 6-3-1 in their last 10. It's not great, but nobody is at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Like, let me run you through these teams because I'm gonna include Philadelphia in this because the Metro is the Midtro. It's like the Rangers, the Hurricanes, and everybody else. Just like the difference between, just to give you an idea, if you haven't been paying attention, the Rangers have 104 points. The Carolina Hurricanes have 101. The third place Flyers have 83. So all these teams are like, I don't know, who feels like making the playoffs today? But the Pittsburgh Penguins have been coming on a little stronger lately. Them beating the Devils means that they are now 3 points up on the Devils, both playing 75 games. They're tied with the New York Islanders. The Islanders have a game in hand, but even so. And then you got the Wings and the Caps at 82 points. What if Pittsburgh made it? What if they messed around and made the playoffs when we all wrote them off? Kind of fun, wouldn't it? The Sabres and Capitals is an interesting one as well because, again, same playoff race. Listen, the Sabres they're at 77 points. That's great. But the Capitals are at 82, and they've played 76 games, and the Capitals have 3 games in hand on them. I don't know. It's not looking good for the Sabres, but I respect the fact that they're still trying. And, it's hockey. Anything can happen. It's just that usually teams passing each other. But I do think that that's actually a big deal for the Pens because, the Capitals hold that last wild card spot unless and until they can pass the also struggling Philadelphia Flyers, who John Tortorella tore a strip off yesterday. If the Caps can pass the Philadelphia Flyers, the Flyers are in trouble, and the Flyers, I think, know that. They don't play again, the Flyers, until it looks like, am I reading this right? Flyers don't play again, I don't think, until Friday. Ooh, it's going to be a sweaty week for them. Now, if you're me, every week is a sweaty week. But that is like, it's going to be nerve-wracking. I'm also kind of excited for the Golden Knights and the Canucks because the Canucks have been so good and the Golden Knights have been surprisingly okay. They've been better lately, but okay. But I feel like the Golden Knights are like a playoff team, and this is where if they're really gonna get back to trying to win the cup again, it's where it kind of has to start. Like Vancouver's got to be their measuring stick tonight. I don't know. Barrows boy, Caps have a rough schedule. I'm a Caps fan, and I'm not convinced of a playoff berth. It's a tough go. Yeah, what's interesting about that is like you're right. They do. Like, let's have a look at the Caps schedule. Caps schedule. Okay. So they're going to play the Penguins. That's going to be a huge matchup on Thursday. And then they play the Hurricanes, who are in the division. And then they got the Senators. I don't know, man. Like, that right there, those 3 games could define Washington's season. That could be it. You win 2 or 3. Maybe you steal a point. Like, one of those games goes to overtime. And I'm assuming that they have to beat Pittsburgh. They do. I can see them not beating the Hurricanes because the Hurricanes are great, but see if you can push it to overtime. You should beat the Senators. You want to be a playoff team, you should beat the Senators. And then another massive game Tuesday next week against the Red Wings. This is a great schedule, at least entertainment-wise. And then Capitals Sabres and then Capitals Lightning on Saturday, April 13th. And then that's this season. Oh, no, I'm lying to you. Then they play the Bruins and Flyers. But I don't know. I think the Capitals season is basically decided in the next 3 games. Is the chat turning on Justin, by the way? This is good. We need that. Here we go. Wow. Scott Morton says Justin greater than Drew. Do you think that? Wow. Damn. Justin, you got to be feeling good about that. You got to be feeling real good about that. Oh, Justin is saying it. That's true, and you should know that. Sniper009 said, hey, we met at a meetup back during the All-Star weekend. I remember that. Did you ever get to watch Grandma's Boy? I remember this conversation, and no, I have not, and I've let you down. I've let you down. I need to watch Grandma's Boy. I don't know if anybody in the chat has watched Grandma's Boy, but apparently it's a movie that you need to watch. DC, who is a VIP member, thank you for being a VIP member. I like you better now that you don't work early mornings. Man, I like me better now that I don't work early mornings. I think it's a very specific person that can do early mornings, and I did them for like 10 years. It's really hard. It's like not easy. You're especially during game nights, you're like, I remember when the Leafs would start at there was a time when I think Sportsnet wanted the Leafs to start at like 7:45, and I'm like, I'm going to kill these guys. 7:45? This is crazy. It was like one season. And, when you're getting up at 4 a.m., it's like, this sucks. Like, why are you making me why are you doing this to me? Just start the game at 7 like a normal broadcaster. Anyway, they brought it back. I think they got enough complaints. But that stuff is like, you don't feel normal. And I think people who work shift work probably feel this, well, definitely feel this way more than I would as some radio host. But think about like nurses and firefighters and people that work overnight. It's kind of bonkers. You're exhausted all the time. Should Adam bring apples tomorrow? Yeah, I should. Probably won't though. Come on. What do we do? Luke Davidson wants me to name every NHL arena. No, we did that, Luke, and it stinks. It stinks. We actually, I was surprised at how many we got, to be honest with you. Kevin Murphy, we know you're doing this because you hate the Preds. I don't hate the Preds. One of my best memories in hockey is in Nashville. I just was against them not going to U2, mostly for the support staff, like the equipment managers and the team doctors and everybody else who has to do the really hard work stuff. Not that hockey players don't have a hard job. They do. I just thought it was kind of a bummer that they lost 2 games and Nashville's Trotz was like, no, can't go have any fun. Sorry, support staff. Sorry. I know. Scott Warren saying, Adam, you need to watch Grandma's Boy. Alex Stevens wants me to tell Steve to stop ripping on JT Miller. I don't think he has been ripping on JT Miller this year. I think he's been pretty complimentary because JT Miller's kind of earned it. But you have to be honest, JT Miller last year was not the same guy. Not the same guy as he is this year. Quick trivia: how many players will hit? This is Jorge Victor Aguilar. Jorge, your Your name is the best. We're gonna do the clap here in a second so we can align streams because we're back on. We're back on the 0-0 tie game. Like, are we ever gonna get a goal in this game? I don't know. This is probably the first game that ends in a tie in over 15 years. That's the way it's gonna be. When did they get rid of ties? Was it after the 2004 lockout? I remember. All right, there it is. There it is. Okay, we're 1957, 1956, 1955. Damn, this Nesson feed, like they cut like they wait until like the second that the puck is dropped. Sportsnet like holds and waits, and you're watching the linesmen, and they're all talking to each other and adjusting their jock straps, and it's like Nesson's like, nope, here it is, face off. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's what my question is: who's the first goal scorer? Doesn't matter the team. Tell me the team, actually. Tell me the player. Who scores the first goal in this game? And please, God, let it be the third period. Because we're in the third period now. We have not got a goal yet. Need to make this happen. DC, who's been a member for a month. Thank you, DC, for the donation there. When's the next... Oh my God. Guys, one of these days we're going to get a goal in this game. Anyway, DC, your question. What's the next live? I went to the K-Town and the All-Star event. Love them. We need a CJ live show in Coburg. Yes, we do. We need Julian to come to Toronto. We need him in Toronto. Just full-time Julian in Toronto. But also, our next live event is sooner than you think. I can't announce anything yet, but it's sort of big. And we're very excited about it. So take from that what you will, but it's coming real soon. And it's going to be short notice because of the nature of how we're doing it. But we'll announce it on the podcast and then, put tickets available and hopefully we get to do it a lot. But we'll see how it all goes. But I'm actually really, really excited for the next one. Really excited. By the way, some people are saying Pavel Zacha breaks the tie. Del Tago says Nashville scores first. Ryan Dittmar, Ryan McDonough, SDPN live in Bowmanville. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for somebody to correctly predict who is going to score this goal. Because, man, Justin Brazeau from Jacqueline Jody. Justin Brazeau off the floor on the board. Okay. Zacho, somebody said Saros. Yeah, I'm sure Saros will. Linus Olmark. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Danton Heinen. Man, Danton Heinen scores. Things are rough. Ryan O'Reilly scores. I like to see an ROR goal. I love Ryan O'Reilly. I'm mad that he left. G says, Adam, it's going to be... sorry, that's not a prediction. Derek McKenzie, famed captain of the Florida Panthers, current assistant coach of the Predators. How do you think he felt about not seeing you two at the Sphere? So on the episode that we did today, I'm pretty sure Derek McKenzie was the last captain that was scratched before Sean Couturier. Am I right on that? I'm pretty sure we talked about that today. I don't know if anybody saw the episode. Anyway, do an SDPN live from Arrakis. Man, we're gonna be right there. Loved that movie, by the way. Dune 2 that ruled. It was such a good movie. I felt like a child after that. All right. Listen, can we figure out a goal here, guys? I'm looking at this game. There's a lot of, like we got the geeky Van Riemsdyk Frederick line out there. That's cool, but like, can they score? Can anybody score here? Here we go. Oh, come on, Nashville. Let's make it happen. Oh, behind the net. Okay, a little breakout from Boston here. Beecher. Oh, nice little move there. Look at those hands. Let's get Brazeau out there. Just start. Unless he hasn't come back to the game, he might not have come back. I don't know if he has. He looked like he was in some significant discomfort. Van Riemsdyk is out there. Boquist. Man, it's a solid lineup all the way through these Bruins. I got to stop complimenting them. They can't see this. They can't be allowed. Like, this is what this whole game has been. What you're watching right now has been this entire game. It's a lot of... Yeah. Oh. Just a lot of let's play heavy along the boards and hard on the puck and flip the puck by, and we're gonna make we're gonna forecheck, and then Boston's gonna get it, and they're gonna get it out of the zone because they're clean like that. Like this is I have to give both of these teams credit though. This is kind of playoff hockey, right? Unless you're the Edmonton Oilers and you're just an absolute fighter jet, just destroying teams. Like this is the way. I mean, Dallas is a lot more offensive than they used to, but this kind of hockey is what got Dallas to the finals in 2020, which people forget. They lost to Tampa Bay. Do you guys remember that team? It's a good team. John Klingberg. Crazy. Jacqueline K, you guys should do a live show here in Tilsonburg. I've been to Tilsonburg, home of the Hazelnut Symposium. That was fun. I don't know if you heard that. If you're not a VIP member, there's a really great story about something called the Hazelnut Symposium where Ontario hazelnut farmers all meet up every year. And one of the members that walked in was Brian Burke. It's a great story. You should, if you're not already a member, sign up. It's like $6.99 a month. You get all the episodes ad free, and then you get the fourth, VIP episode. Ooh, what a glove! Oh, Mark, flashing some leather. Something exciting happened. Anyway, you got to check that out. It's really, really funny. Yeah, Brazeau is out of the game. By the way, I love that J Money wrote Justin Brazzers. J Money. We all know what Brazzers is. J Money. Just saying. That's got a little close to the line there, J Money. Travis asked, do people in the East not pay attention to the West at all? Edmonton is very solid defensively this year. I think, I think it's interesting, Travis, especially for the Oilers. Like, I don't know who watches hockey that isn't paying attention to the Oilers. You have to. You cannot look away. Especially the way they started the season. Like, they were terrible. And then the coaching change happens. And then have they not been the best team in the league since? Pretty sure. Yeah, I think that the whole thing about the Easterners not paying attention to the West, I mean, like, I understand where the frustration comes from. I lived in the West. I totally get it. But I do think it's a little bit overblown. Like, especially now. Like, here we go. Oh my God, UC Saros is good. Linus Olmark's good. Everybody's good. The hell? Can we get a goal here? I think big time hockey fans are watching Oiler games anytime that they have time. Even if it's not your main team, you're watching Oiler games. If an Oiler game is on, you're watching. They're too good. They're too good. Okay. Adam, will there ever be a Battlefront 3? I'm assuming Star Wars. Man, I don't know. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys play a lot of video games. I loved the original Battlefronts like 20 years ago. I loved the ones from 15 and like 2018. I thought they were a lot of fun. I've never seen a brand with so much potential for video games do so little with it. And I include the some of the ones they've come out with lately. Like Justin, what's the one we play? The Star Wars one with all the puzzles in it. Why can't I not remember the name? Fallen Order, stuff like that. Yeah, Fallen Order is like so good. Jedi, and Survivors, Jedi Survivors, so good. But like that's it. Like that's all we're getting, right? And by the way, I'm looking over the camera because I'm watching the game while we're talking about this. We should be getting so much more. We should be getting I don't know if you've been paying attention to what's going on with Helldivers, but how do we not have a live service Star Wars game where you're trying to take over the galaxy, Empire versus Rebels? Are you kidding me? Do you know how sick that would be? I'd never see my family again. You know what? Travis was talking about watching, do Easterners really not watch the Edmonton Oilers? I wouldn't even watch the Leafs. I'd be like, live service game? Is there, we got to save the Wookiees on Kashyyyk? I'm in. I'm ready. I'm going to that. Sorry, Austin Matthews. Score 80 goals this year. That's great. I'll be happy for you. I'll watch the highlights. Like, there's so much potential there, and they're just such a snore fest sometimes. Yeah, I've heard, by the way, for anybody that has played Helldivers, apparently it's just sick. Like an unbelievable game. I haven't had the chance. Francois, as an Edmontonian, if the Leafs win against the Oilers in the Stanley Cup final, the city will implode. Yeah, I completely understand that. We're the big bad wolf. We're Darth Vader. I get it. I get why people hate us. And you know what? I don't even mind it. That's what we got to embrace. Oh, here we go. Come on, get a freaking goal, guys. 13:26 left in the third. If you're watching on a stream, that's the time I'm at if you want to align. Oh my God. Come on. Okay, UC's just going to have one of those nights, eh? It's UCV Linus, and that's what it is. It's like you're not going to score. Sorry, too bad. 0-0 tie, even though ties don't exist anymore. I have an Xbox, so I can't play Helldivers. I didn't know it wasn't cross-console. I thought it was both. Trizak, Matthews highlights? No time for that. The Ewoks are in trouble. By the way, hi, Tristan. I know Trizak. I know who he is. Star Wars Outlaws looks like it's going to be a hell of a game. Yeah, I love the open world games that Ubisoft puts out. Ubisoft is the studio behind the Star Wars Outlaws thing, and they did Far Cry. I loved Far Cry 3 all the way through. And I've liked the rest of them, but Far Cry 3 was really special. And they did all the Assassin's Creed games. So they do a great open world. And Star Wars fans, I know Justin, who's doing the stream with me, is pumped about it. Specifically, Justin took me aside once in the hallway and was telling me about how you're going to be able to fly from like the surface of a planet to space without any interruptions. They're not going to be like a loading screen, which is sort of a big deal because we really haven't gotten that in many games at all. And especially Star Wars, some of the best parts of like best scenes of Star Wars, it's like, okay, we got to get on the Millennium Falcon and get out of here. And if there was like a loading screen, it would totally kill the vibe. So somebody said a Star Wars game like GTA 5 would be sick. You know what I'm dying for when we talk about Star Wars, because I'm just a fanatical Star Wars fan. I'm dying for something darker. Like, love The Mandalorian, love Bad Batch, but like ultimately, listen, I know Star Wars is for kids. I'm still a kid. I love Star Wars. Like George Lucas made a kids movie and then made a kids movie into a series, and adults get all mad about it, but it's for children. And so is the Bad Batch and all that stuff. I want something dark. I want something like that's gritty. I would love to see a series where they follow like clones from their inception and like their training to the battlefield, and they're working with a Jedi that we don't know all that well, and then like right up into Order 66 when they turn on them, and then basically Battlefront, basically like the 501st, right? That story that would be so sick. Like everybody, I think they're still working on the Rogue Squadron thing with Patty Jenkins. That's great, and I loved Rogue Squadron growing up, but man, can you imagine like a really dark, gritty, and not one where I don't want one where like in Battlefront 2 where she's bad, she's one of the Empire, and then she sees the light and joins the Rebels. No, I want them to stay bad. Like I want it to be not like Breaking Bad, but Walter White is the bad guy. I want this to be like, this is the story of the bad guys who started good and then went bad. Wouldn't that be sick? And then they end, and it's like, they've taken over the world or whatever, or they've taken over the universe. That's so sick. Would be so sick. Bubby says, Adam, have you heard of Hell Let Loose? A few people have mentioned that up. Super fun, realistic, first-person shooter. Thought about like, yeah, I've heard about it, and I've seen the clips on TikTok. And what's crazy is like, I know we're supposed to be watching a hockey game here, but let's be honest, it's 0-0. The shots are even. Everything's even. Here we go. Maybe we got a shot here. Oh, weak backhand. Just favorite play in hockey is a weak backhand. I've heard that Hell Let Loose is so intense that people are like a little bit shaken afterwards. Like there's stories on TikTok. Some of these videos are so funny. It's like, hey man, where are you from? Oh, I'm from blah, 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 USA. Well, oh, me too, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, blown up. And like, you're done. Crazy. Man, look at the comments on the Star Wars. I love this. Are the Panthers brighter by midnight? Are the Panthers running out of steam? Another loss tonight. Genuine opportunity for home ice advantage for the Leafs. Yeah, I was talking about it like 5-10 minutes ago. I don't know what's going on with the Panthers. They certainly looked bad in the first two periods against the Leafs, but I think it's because the Leafs played them well. Oh, I'm still waiting for a goal in this bloody game. I think the Leafs played them well. I think the Leafs played a really good game. And then I thought the Panthers played really well in the third period and got rewarded for it by scoring like 3 goals. Did I think that they were going to get curb stomped by the Montreal Canadiens tonight? No. I don't think the Montreal Canadiens went into that game. We're like, guys, 5-3. And Nick Cousins is going to get kicked out. Like, it's crazy. Les Hill, I have 2 Star Wars tattoos and more on the way. Les, if you're going to tell us about your Star Wars tattoos, you can't just stop there. You got to get detailed, buddy. We got to know. We got to know more. See, that Evangelista pass was really good. The Novak pass to him was really good. Like, the thing is that is this a goalie thing? Because I don't feel like it's even a goalie thing. Like, I've seen a couple of good saves tonight, but this just feels like 2 teams that are like, we're going to neutral zone you to death. If these 2 teams played in the playoffs, I know it would be the Stanley Cup final, but could it be the most boring series? It could be. Like, we always talk about, here's the playoff series we want. Like, this would be the most exciting. Like I was talking about earlier, Tampa and Boston, I believe if the playoffs started today, would be playing each other. I want that. What we don't talk enough about is what series would be the most boring. Give me the most boring matchup. What's an unwatchable series? Tell me about that. Who knows more Star Wars facts, you or Steve? That's from Buckeye Fan. Oh, definitely me. Steve is a passive Star Wars fan. I think the last movie he really liked was Rogue One, and rightfully so, because it probably was the last good Star Wars movie. Sad as it is to say, that movie was clean and clear and perfectly Star Wars. And that's why I'm so grateful for like The Mandalorian and Andor and all that stuff, because it's really saved the franchise. And I think long term, they'll be better off not making big feature films. I think you just make a bunch of series and then you get longer than the films. I think it makes more sense to make TV shows for that, because then you can get more in depth. Again, I just want something dark. Islanders and Flyers round 2, boring. Any series with the Islanders, a Preds Flyers series. I'm loving this. Let's go boring series. Isles versus Canes. Oh my God. Can you imagine Isles versus Canes? Nobody's scoring. It's just going to be a bunch of guys going, no, we're just going to hang out between the blue lines and not do anything. What else we got? Islanders, Flyers, Islanders, Canes, Kings, Caps Cup final. I don't know. I think the Kings, Caps Cup final might be interesting. It would just be really easy for the Kings to ISO Ovechkin. By the way, Holland Crib. If I mispronounce your username, I apologize. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships to people. That's really cool. And everybody who's a new member, enjoy, because we got a really good thing going on here. And I really love the memberships. Really do help what we're trying to do. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been, as everybody knows, the economy is a little rough. So these memberships help enormously, and we really appreciate it. It's really nice. Back to boring series. Sharks, Blackhawks. Bailey, first off, that's from Bailey. Bailey, they're not making the playoffs, Bailey. Have you looked at the standings? Secondly, I think that series would be an absolute gong show. Don't you? Wouldn't it be cool if, like, for no reason at all? So this is how I think that they should do the first round, like who gets the first round, first overall pick. The team with the most points after being eliminated, so that you can discourage tanking, right? So, okay, we're eliminated first and we suck, but we got the most points after we were being eliminated from the playoffs. So nobody tanks, which I love. And then what they should do is they should take the 2 teams that finished with the top 2 points. So let's say this year it's Chicago and San Jose, right? They're the 2 teams that were out first, and they, by some miracle, which they absolutely would not, also got the most amount of points after being eliminated from the playoffs. Wouldn't it be sick if they had to play a 3-game series in order to fight for the first round pick or the first overall pick? Wouldn't that be cool? Then you're literally guaranteeing you don't need a draft lottery, which in my mind is so overrated and boring and bad TV, because, be honest, do we have a goal? Oh my God, we were so close. 8:27, there's a delayed penalty. It looks like Boston took a penalty. Pasternak punches in faces, as he does. Slip Dip Watery Poo. That's a great name. Welcome to SDP VIP. Thank you for signing up. I think if you want to discourage tanking, that would be sick. And then, so apparently between the end of the regular season and the playoffs this year, there's going to be like 5 or 6 days. So you could have those teams, which, by the way, why aren't they starting the playoffs right away? Anyway, in that sort of gap, you could have those two teams take on each other, best of 3, best player in the draft on the line. Who doesn't get up and watch that? Wouldn't that be sick? I feel like that'd be cool. I don't know. Maybe it's only me, but I feel like it would be cool to see a reason to play for some of these teams. And frankly, it's a reason to buy a ticket. Like when Toronto was really, really bad, people forget this. People were so fed up in 2015 that the Leafs didn't sell out anymore. And that never happens. And so, like, if you're an owner, you would be all the way on board with there being a reason to play. And I know Elliot Friedman's been talking about it too with 32 Thoughts about the playoff expansion. I think it's coming. More than 50% of teams should make the playoffs. That's the end of it. It's better for the league if more teams make it, even if it's like a play-in round, like what the NBA is doing. 50% of the teams making the playoffs means 50% of the teams do not. And that's not good for business. You want more people in. Warrior want Marchand getting so frustrated he might lick someone. Yeah, and they might warn him and say, stop doing that, Brad. Stop. We're going to have to ask you to stop being that way, Brad. But we won't. I don't want to fine you or suspend you, but this is like the 20th time, Brad. So next time I'm sure you'll get it. Right, Brad? Yeah, sure. Greetings from Dublin, Ireland. John Kenny, thank you so much. Gap between the playoffs and the regular season sucks. I totally agree with you. Yeah. Anyway, Bailey says this, have the COVID format, and call the teams missing the playoffs the toilet bowl. See? Now we're thinking. We're creative. It's branding. I love it. I'm watching TV right now. Listen, I do wish that we had done the Panthers-Canadiens game. It would have been sick. But we're doing this because the Preds are making me eat my words after saying about, what I said about the U2 thing. We got a bunch of questions that we have to get to here. Give me a second. Salman, who's been a member for a month. Hey, Adam, quick question. What do you think sparked the Preds turnaround, if not the U2 concert cancellation? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious that it was. I have to admit defeat on this one. I do think, though, here's where I differ with people on it, and I'm splitting hairs here, but let me be difficult. It's my stream. I think that the players came in and they were pissed about it, and they've won a bunch of games since. I don't know that I wonder why it took that for that to happen. Does that make sense? And also, does it really take missing a U2 concert for a bunch of guys to get motivated? They'd already surprised the league by being actually good this year. I don't know. Clearly it was the U2 thing. Barry Trotz is paid a lot more than I am. So let me be straight there. He knows a lot more than I do. I'm just here to say, I don't know. I don't know if I doubt it. And I still do. There's something about it. It's weird. Bubby, who's been a member for a month. Thank you, Bubby. Adam, have you heard of Hell Let Loose? Yes, I have. We've been talking about that. Love that. Samantha said, what did I turn into? What did I turn on to? It's a stream, Sam. Oh, it was the Star Wars thing. You know what, Samantha? The Star Wars discussion was important. Darth Quater, new member. Hey, welcome. Thank you. What about an in-season cup tournament, kind of like the NBA has started? Do you want to see one in the NHL similar to European soccer you described earlier? Yes, I do. I think there's always got to be a reason to play for something. And as much as the All-Star game was super fun here in Toronto, there's a reason why the NHL is not too concerned about losing it next season with the 4 teams tournament, which is what they're doing. It's an in-season tournament. It's not with the NHL teams. Oh, here we go. We got a breakaway. Come on. Oh, we got to go. I can't believe I'm cheering for the Bruins, but we finally have something. Thank you, Charlie Coyle. Thank you so much. Oh, God. It's a good goal, too. Damn. Wow. What a pickup he's been. Man, 3rd round pick, I think, is what they got. They traded for him 3 years ago from Minnesota. And he's just been awesome. Look at this. Great pass. Boom. Top cheese on UC Saros, right over that glove. Beautiful. Oh, what a relief to see a goal. I hope the chat's going off. I'm going to check on it. Yeah, the chat is going off. Charles Entertainment Coyle. That was great. That's really great. Wow. And shorthanded, too. I got to tell you, man, Boston's penalty kill has looked awesome tonight. I know that's like not the most exciting statement in the world, but it hasn't been the most exciting game. But their penalty kill has been just awesome. Awesome. And look at that. They get a goal. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so Charlie Coyle's been there since 2019. Okay, listen, guys, COVID. Are we all pretending that we remember everything that happened during that 3-year period? It was a 3-year period for me. I'm calling it a 3-year period. Here we go. So the question now becomes, how well does a Barry Trotz team cheat to offense? We got 6 minutes left, or 5:57 if we're being super quick about it. And Nashville's got to score. And they score, but they're not like the league's best goal scoring team. Like Nashville is, they're top 12 in goals or something like that. It's not crazy, but it's not the worst either. So, yeah, actually, it's so funny. Nashville is just behind Boston in total goals this year. How about that? Would never have known. So they can score. Are they going to cheat the offense to do it? And by the way, hiring Andrew Brunette was really smart. I was really surprised when Florida, like when he wins the President's Trophy and Florida's like, nah, we're good. He was the all-star coach, and they're like, nah, we're good. And then Quimville, obviously, we all know what happened there. I don't want to get into that. Has his stint, and Brunette was like a free agent coach for a year. It's kind of cool that it's a cool story. I don't even know if he won the Jack Adams that year, but he was nominated. Like, it was a crazy year. And honestly, like, do you not think, like, be honest with yourself, even if you're a Preds fan, did you think that they were going to be in the playoffs picture this year? Like, maybe a fringe team, right? I think you got to give Brunette some sort of vote for Jack Adams. Like, he's done a really good job with this team. And I bet you they have a GM of the Year award, which, as we always repeat, Jeff Merrick is like the GM of the Year award is the Stanley Cup, but there is a GM of the Year award. I believe it's called the Lou Lamoriello Award. Barry's got to be in on that, right? Barry's got to be in on that. So anyway, look at this. Man, there's so many. John Kenny, I hate all expansion teams. Why, John? More is more. More is better. Bruins have not done well holding late leads, so we'll see, according to Darth Quater. Listen, they can't be worse than the Leafs at it. They can't. Nobody can. Nobody could possibly. Couldn't be us. Couldn't be us. Darth Quater asked about that in-season tournament before the Charlie Coyle goal. Yeah, listen, I want to say that, yes, I think, first off, we're getting an in-season tournament, but it happens to be national teams. We're finally going to see, like, McDavid in a Team Canada jersey, Matthews in a Team USA jersey. Like, it's been forever since we've seen Erik Karlsson wearing Team Sweden. It's ridiculous. Like, William Nylander, I remember that there was that really famous World Championship win where he, like, tackled Henrik Lundqvist, and everybody's like, I hope Henrik's okay, because he's, like, in his late 30s. Excited for that. That's going to be cool. I do think that there's a reason that other sports have taken a step forward, and I understand why hockey's conservative in preserving its traditions, but I don't think it. I think if you were to go into the playoffs and change fundamentally what the playoffs were, adding more teams to the playoffs is nothing, because it used to be 2 rounds, and then it was 3 rounds, and it was back to 2 rounds again, and then it was 3, and the first round used to be 5 games, and the other rounds were 7 games. Like, the playoff formats changed so much, and then they added the next round in the early 90s. Is it early 90s? Yeah, I think so. With the expansion, like, to me, you can, as long as the playoffs remain this insane tournament that blows people's minds, and it's like a car crash, especially for the first couple rounds. Wow, juggling that stop, Linus Ullmark. As long as that remains the same, I think you can't really mess that up. And I think that the league needs to look at different ways to get fans fired up midway through. You got to look at your competition. Your competition is some of the biggest sports in the world: NFL, NBA. Soccer is on the rise enormously in North America. And as much as the NHL doesn't want to admit it, like the MLS is coming on strong and has a far more comprehensive rights deal, not more money, but more comprehensive rights deal. That is a lot easier for the fans to watch games. I don't know, man. I'm feeling like the NHL could do something creative. And here's the thing: it doesn't have to be like a copy from the NBA. It can be a brand new idea. The problem is that do I trust Gary Bettman, Bill Daly, and the brain trust there to come up with a really cool idea? Not really. No. And I think that's because they're of an older generation. And I think they're out of touch with what fans want. And that's okay when you're 70. But it might be time to move on, Like it'd be like if I don't know if you've got an uncle that's 70. Like how many cool creative ideas that appeal to the younger generations would he come up with? That's not your age bracket anymore. There's a few people that can manage that, but very few. So, live stream chat. Justin. Robert Malloy, Adam, I bought you a bunch of Bruins fans. Sorry. I brought you a bunch of Bruins fans. Sorry. A bunch of Bruins fans to the stream. Say hi. Hello. Listen, Bruins fans, come for the me and stay and watch Leaf fans die in pain. Please subscribe. Please like. If you like, by the way, this video, it really does help things. So if we can get some likes going on here, that'd be super duper. 410 likes so far. Man, guys, really appreciate that. That's so cool. It's my first stream I've ever done. So I'm not like profesh, but I'm doing my best here. And I got to say, this game has not been an easy one because there's just been a lot of so blah. I would love to know how the Bruins fans who are watching now feel about it. Because first off, with Florida losing, as a Bruins fan, you got to be absolutely ecstatic. But second, you got to win this game. And according to some of the Bruins fans in the chat, they're not great. Hold it. Oh, man, I wish he'd passed it to James Van Riemsdyk. It would be good to see a JVR goal tonight. You got to win this. Sorry, what's that? Did Babe Schneider hit a home run? Oh, finally, the Jays after what, 16 innings, 17 innings? Because they did. They took so the Blue Jays took the lead in the ninth. The Jays got no hit last night. I don't know if how many of you guys are Jays fans? And then I think they went 7 or 8 innings deep tonight without scoring a run. So hockey's are. Here we go. Oh, what a goal! Oh my God. Zaka puts that home. That's all Pasternak, though. That all starts with him. What a goal. That's a heartbreaker for Nashville. They've played a good, solid game against Boston tonight. And UC's been great. Like, there's no coverage on this. Watch. Okay. So first off, Pasta starts the turnover, has a look, hooks around, beats the defenseman wide, beats the other guy wide. And what Danton Heinen, knowing he doesn't have the angle, putting it out to Zaka, that's a great goal. Man, what did I tell you in the first period? Anybody that's stuck around the entire game, every time Pasternak's out there, something's happening. It just feels, you can just see it. Look at the confidence. Nobody even touches the guy, too. That is the surprising part about this. I'm really surprised. I think it was Will Carrier that was on Pasternak there. No. Oh, are they reviewing? They're not reviewing. I saw Brunette do the eye thing. No. Okay. All right. We got 2:42 left, by the way, if you're trying to align streams. Man, that was a great goal. So 4-1 Vegas right now, 16 minutes into the game in Vancouver. Okay, Nashville's pulled the goalie. We might get another goal here. I would like to see Nashville get like a 1 goal, although, good for Linus if he gets a shutout. This is what I was thinking about with Vegas. Like, they are a litmus test for the Vancouver Canucks, and the Vancouver Canucks are a litmus test for Vegas. As much as nobody's going to remember this game in a couple of weeks, you still have takeaways from a game like that. And Vegas destroying the Canucks would be a story for like 24 hours. And Canucks fans, are excited about this team, and they should be, but like aren't they? I'm going to look at the playoffs here. Wild card. Here we go. Yeah, like Vancouver and Vegas could happen. If LA jumps back into that spot and Vegas falls to the wild card, that could happen. Probably not going to happen. Dallas will probably do it, but crazy. And even if I'd love to know if Vegas comes on strong here, because the Edmonton Oilers are man, they look great. So I thought there we got another. Yeah, we got a third goal. We got a goal, guys. We got 3 goals in the third, and that's Pasta being Pasta. Thank God. We needed some goals. Man. Loving the support in the chat, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. This is so cool. Pasta's just crushing it. Man, this guy, he's so sick. Like, look at that. Oh, 2 guys on him. Just a nice little beautiful. How much do we love David Pastrnak? Except for when he plays the Leafs. I have to hate him, guys. I do. Also, I think it's hilarious that the main sponsor of the Boston Arena and their helmets is TD, also known as Toronto Dominion Bank. Just throwing that out there. It's a sleeper cell. We're coming after you. Toronto's in your walls, Boston. In your walls. Waiting for this to start up again. I always love when it's like, so now it's 3-0, and I love when the players are talking to each other on the ice, like, we're gonna have to, guys, let's do a set play here. We're gonna come back and score a goal. It's like, okay. Oh, I don't know if your stream's out, but my stream's out. Oh, it's back. 107 left. Guys, we had 3 goals. They came late, but they happened. Thank God. We needed them. Francois says, is Pasta your favorite Bruin? Yeah, man. I don't know how you don't love the bromance between Ullmark and Swayman. I combine them there. How do you not love that? The two of them are just completely head over heels for each other. And it's a bummer because it looks like that's going to end soon. I think Boston almost traded Ullmark to Los Angeles. And he said no. He said no to that. LA sounds great, but I can understand not wanting to leave Boston. If they break that up, it's going to be a real shame, because that's like an NHL all-time bromance. Like, we should do a top 5 video when the season ends, like top 5 bromances this year in the NHL. That's got to be number 1 the last 2 years. They're just, it's fun when teammates support each other like that. It's cool. It's really cool. I'm 35 and I still think that's cool. Maybe I'm just a softie. 24 seconds left in the game. UC Saros playing the puck. Man, Nashville just... This is what I was trying to say earlier. Like, I don't want to say Yossi and Forsberg are not elite talent. They are. But when we compare elite talent between these two teams, or any of the top teams, like Dallas, Colorado, I would say Toronto, I would say Florida in that too. Nashville just does not have it. Now, in a 6 or 7 game series, they may not need it. But I do think they're in tough going into the playoffs. I really do. Big win for the Boston Bruins. Shout out to all the Bruins fans that are watching right now, by the way. That's a big win for Boston. They, with the Florida Panthers loss tonight, I cannot overstate how important that is. They are now 4 points clear of the Florida Panthers. Both teams have played 76 games, which means you got 6 games left to lock this up. And a 6-point spread a 4-point spread in 6 games is so hard to make up. Like, we're talking about the Leafs here. They play again tomorrow night. They got a game in hand, or 2 games in hand on Florida. So if the Leafs win the next 2 games, they're tied with Florida. And they'd both be even at 70. There we go. Hug. Boom. See, how do you not love that? That's amazing. And I got to ask, how is Boston ever considering breaking that up? Oh, the stream ended. I don't know why Sportsnet cut off the stream immediately. It would have been nice to get the post game. Yeah, well, the joys of Sportsnet. Anyway, I just think that there's, I don't even know what the hell I was talking about, but that is amazing. I love watching those guys hug. I love watching that happen. But yeah, I think we were talking about the Leafs and Panthers and Bruins. Like, this is a big game for Boston. I think they definitely wanted it, and thrilled for them. And thrilled for the Leafs, because they are the Leafs boogeyman. And I think the Leafs have been beaten by them. Is it 7 straight games? Like, maybe we can save that for the second round. I'm watching the Jays game now, by the way. I just flipped it over. It's the last, ninth inning, 2-1 Jays. See if they can pull something out here. You guys want to just hang on for a little bit longer? Yeah, let's do it. 1 out, Jays. There's a good strikeout here. The Astros look like they're baseball's so tough because when you're a fan, you overreact to every game. That's the nature of being a fan, and anybody tells you otherwise, they're wrong. But baseball really is about like weekly, monthly trends. It's such a patient game, and I'm not good at patience. Oh, yes! Got him out. Nice pickoff. Really good. We got 2 outs, guys. 2 outs, baby. When will CJ do a Jays watch along? That's honestly, I think he would. He fell. That sucks. Or did he slide early? Yeah, I think CJ would totally, I think, do that. I think he'd be spectacular at it. But I feel like CJ's the type of guy, he's so humble and like for real humble that CJ would be like, oh, I don't know if people would want to watch that. And be like, CJ, you're crazy. Just sit there and watch the game and talk to people. Like he'd be so, CJ he's just a hopeless Blue Jays fan. Like what Steve is to the Leafs, that's what CJ is for the Blue Jays. He just loves them and they keep breaking his heart. They really do. Like, I can't even imagine what shade of purple CJ must have been when they lost 8-1. Or they had that 8-1 lead and then blew it. Brutal. Okay, 1 more out. And then we can start wrapping up. But I just got to say, oh, man. CJ streamed from the Dome on a $1 hot dog night in the flight deck. Man, if the Jays let us do that, that would be sick. I don't know if they would, why they would. But man, if they did, that would be so cool. A CJFR, CJ fan reaction. We've told him that. He should, that'd be a lot of games, but even if he did one of those a week, I think it would be so sick. And CJ, the more you talk to CJ, the more you like CJ. Like he is, I mean it when I say this, he is one of the best people I think any of us have ever met. He's just an awesome guy. Yeah, Justin? Yeah. Oh, Matthew Crocker in the chat. CJ game. Ha ha. Uh-oh. Do we have a... Oh, okay. Jays freaked me out there. I thought that was gone, but we got a big victory. We got goals in the Bruins Preds game, and we got a Jays victory. Davis Schneider with that mustache. They wouldn't play him last year towards the end of the playoffs, and or the end of the regular season. I thought it was stupid. Davis Schneider. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. That's wicked. Sorry, Jose Altuve. You can't win. Hey, guys. I just want to say this is my first stream ever. And really, really enjoyed watching with you guys. So thank you for that. Really genuinely am surprised and touched by how many people showed up tonight. Thank you for all the streams that were donated, or not the streams, the memberships that were donated. That means a lot to us at SDPN. It really does. And if you haven't signed up yet, would love to see you on the SDP VIP ad free, so you get all the content ad free. It was real fun. So let's do this again. And like I said, I'm coming back in the playoffs. Pretty sure I got the series picked out. Hope you're ready for some late nights. I'll leave it at that. Love you guys. See you tomorrow for the SDP. This is one $5 super here. From Jay Danoff. You guys should have a panel debate segment on SDP similar to a Player's Choice channel, except for NHL. I'd love to do a panel show. I always thought the SDP would be kind of cool as a panel show for hockey games, but haven't seen any job offers come in for us yet. Guys, really appreciate you hanging around. I'm going to wrap it up. You guys rule. This was so much fun. We're doing this in the playoffs, so I hope you're ready. We're going to get excited, and I promise I'll get better at it too. Thank you so much, and love you all. And thank you to Justin Fisher for running this stream. He did an amazing job. Let's get some what should we do for Justin in the chat? Let's get some, because it's Jay's game, dollar hot dogs. Let's get some hot dog emojis in the chat. Can we do that? Yeah, hot dog emojis for Justin Fisher. Love that. He's on board. Thank you to Robert and Jesse and Drew and everybody else that jumped in, and my wife Natalie, who donated $20. It's very nice. Thank you, Natalie. Love you. Tell all your friends, subscribe, click like. Thank you all. We'll talk to you soon.